Shabbat Shalom Mishpacha. I think we'll kick start it a little earlier. Can everybody hear me, please? Okay, great. Anybody else have any problems with the audio? If everybody's good, we'll kick start it. Okay, great. Right, so our Parshas today is Parshas Kedoshim. Just a couple of informationals. Number one, that we got the festival of Pentecost, Shavuot, coming up this month for the die-hard Enochian calendar folks. We will be celebrating the festival of Pentecost on the 24th of this month, May 2019. And for those people who celebrate it based on the Jewish lunar calendar, they are next month on the 8th of June. So mark those down as in your calendars as days that need to be non-work days. In other words, mandatory off days. That is, if you can get them as mandatory off. However, most of you will be happy to know, those of you who keep the lunar calendar, that festival falls on a Saturday. So that should generally be a day off anyway. Whereas for us, the die-hard Enochian calendar people, our festival will fall on a Friday. So we shall be observing it on a Friday. It's a 2-day festival. It starts on Friday sunrise and it finishes on sunset Saturday for us at the end of the Sabbath. And for those of you doing the lunar calendar, it will start on the Saturday morning. Of course, everything is sunrise, and then it will finish on Sunday night for those of you doing it on the observance on the Saturday. Of course, as you know, the lunar calendar folks, the Ashkenazim, they will do their start up from Friday night to Sunday night. So that's just by the by informationals on that. The joke of the week today is one I thought was rather kind of important, funny, and just exactly what happens in our world today. So we have a virtuous woman who dies, she goes to heaven, and she finds everything as she expected: picturesque landscapes, perfect sunsets, and infinite tranquility and serenity. Only one thing puzzles her: a high wall far off in the distance that climbs almost to the clouds. "What's behind that wall?" she asks one of the angels. "Oh, that's where we put the Catholics," the angel replies. "They think they're the only ones up here." So as far as religion is concerned, you are supposed to follow the dictates of religion, and they are supposed to lay down the law for you, and so on and so forth. And so they want you to think that they know better and you don't. So therefore, you have to follow their dictates. This is why earlier on in our history, our scriptures were taken by the Gentiles, as you know, and they were, apart from the scriptures that we saved and we left Israel with, or we buried into this, into the caves. You will find that the scriptures they took from us, they translated those into other languages such as Latin, Greek, and so forth, and then they kept those kind of in those languages for a long time, until 15th, 16th century. People like William Tyndale and I guess John Wycliffe and other people who then had those translations put back into the English language or German language or both, and then the regular people, ordinary people, started to get access to those translations. I mean, imagine, for 1600 years there was no access to a Bible by ordinary people. They had no access to it. They could not read them, they could not translate them, they could not assess what God's laws were or what God taught. You would only be able to receive what the church fathers, the church authorities, the clergy, what they gave you. That was your information. This is going down to vicars, bishops, archbishops, cardinals, and all those people, even to the leaders of the nations, were able to only get information from these people. Now, of course, as you know, that during that earlier days, when the papal system came in, from the papal system's rebellion, then the different offshoots of Protestant Christianity, Anglican Christianity sprouted forth, and from those rebellions sprouted forth the Pentecostal movements, the other movements that came out were subsequently sprouted from kind of those in the, I guess, relatively in this century, in the 50s, 60s, they kind of sprouted out, or earlier on in this century. But right now, you are at a juncture where you have been presented back the information that comes from God's law through His Kohanim. My goodness, you are recipients of information that is now coming down to you, not from the papal system, not from the breakaway Protestants, but not from the breakaway Pentecostals or other denominations. There are many thousands of them. Probably, I don't even think it's easy to number them, but there's probably more than 38,000 denominations in the world of Christianity, and that is fine. That doesn't bother us. But there's only one priesthood. Even though the Pope can glorify himself as a vicar of Christ, there's only one priesthood, and that priesthood is the one that Yahweh established, and that has been established forever, and that will never change. And with that, I wanted to reflect back a little bit on our little history that you had with me in America. I came to this country not long ago. Although I've been visiting this country for years and years, probably for 21 years I've been visiting this country, but I didn't come on the shores of this country till maybe 2015, when the God of Israel brought me here. And I wanted to bring forth certain things to your attention so that you may understand where we are in our present history. And I think that is relevant that we just go through a little bit history so you can see how the priesthood works. The priesthood was brought to the shores of America to establish a base over here, and that base was established in Pensacola, Florida. And then at the same time, before that, the base of the tribe of Yehudah was established in San Antonio, Texas. And as you know, the San Antonio, Texas base was established by Rabbi Kefa as a chief rabbi for the said government of Yahweh. There is of course the government of the presidents of this country, which can continue to run. There is no problem about that. But then there is the government of Yahweh. The government of Yahweh is a spiritual government, and the government of Yahweh does not, no one can change it, no one can alter it, no one can demolish it. So we will look at that government. We're looking at that shadow government, or shadow or overshadow government of Yahweh on top of everybody else, which is a spiritual government, which really has no interest in suppression of the people or depression of the people. Which simply has the at its behest the laws of the God of Israel, the children of Israel, and the benefits of the whole people who live in the land and thereon. So with that in mind, I wanted to bring some things to your attention so you can see for yourself that what I'm stating is either truth or either false. You can assess it for yourself. Rabbi Kefa, as you know, went through difficulties in his marriage, and the home that he had established in San Antonio, Texas. Somebody else who was there thought they could maybe shift that home, maybe take it away, maybe usurp it through legal channels of the Gentile laws. But I want to state for the record that that home was not moved. Even though it was the said I don't want to mention names, but the said people tried, but they failed, and that home still stays with Rabbi Kefa. Now Rabbi Kefa was given a prophecy, I'd say a prophecy at this point, or a word of God that he was going to have children, that he needed to establish a son. He needed to establish children in his home, and he did not have no children. This is about 6 years ago when he was given this word by myself. And at that point, Rabbi Kefa was married to another person who could not have children. So I just gave Kefa what I was told to give him, without me, saying anything further, and without Rabbi Kefa understanding anything further. Well, I guess afterwards Rabbi Kefa was thinking, how am I going to have this child? Because my wife cannot have children because she has her system tied up. And so, but that wasn't for me to figure out or explain how and why. All I needed to explain was that he was going to have children. Things are going to shift. And so back then, he went through certain family details, and those details emerged that his wife eventually rebelled, or his ex-wife rebelled to the laws of the government of Yahweh, and then she just decided to remove herself from the situation, and she decided that she no longer wanted to be part of the government of Yahweh, and she wanted her own separate state or little world that she wanted to create, which was fine. She had that perfect choice to do that, and so she did. And in the end, she tried to usurp whatever she could. She got what Rabbi Kefa was able to give her, and point being that the home could not be removed. Rabbi Kefa's home was already established. When the Kohen steps into a house, a certain jurisdiction is established. I had stepped into the house years ago. There was no one going to shift that house from there. Why? Because at that point something else occurred, which has to nobody. Probably Rabbi Kefa understands it, and I don't think anybody understood it that time, but you might understand it now in 2019. I established a city of refuge in San Antonio. By me going there, city of San Antonio became a city of refuge as well, because we the Kohanim only have that right to do that. And so Pensacola, Florida became also a city of refuge. And I would say likewise, Ohio also has a city of refuge too. So there are 3 cities of refuge that are already established in this land. So having said that, the homes that exist here in those cities cannot be shifted, cannot be usurped, cannot be taken away by no man on this earth. Can take away those homes, and they will stay in the said names of the people that own them. So Rabbi Kefa will keep his house, and doesn't matter whether a marriage stays or whether a marriage falls. The home will be passed only to the descendants of the people that are there under the jurisdiction of that person. In other words, Rabbi Kefa, even if he wanted to, he would not be able to sell his house and give that proceeds of the money to his ex-wife, because it will not be permitted, because that home can only go to his descendant being his future son or his future daughter. That's the only person that can actually inhabit that home and continue therein, because it's part of the city of refuge. This is a spiritual thing. This is not a physical thing as we understand it, and no physicality can alter that reality. That reality will stay permanently forever, until such time that the children of Israel are restored back to the land of Israel, which of course, as we all know, is yet future. In the meantime, we have been instructed by the maker of this universe that we are to establish homes, families, children, wives, etc., etc., and that is what the children of Israel are doing across the world, whether in America, England, whether in India, Pakistan, wherever in the world, China. They are doing that. They're establishing their homes, etc., and that's what they are meant to do for the intervening period that we are not yet, as a people, come into the land of Israel, which is yet future. In the meantime, you have been empowered. You have been given information that has empowered you to drastically change your lives. In other words, that you are no longer just following dictates of any religion. You're actually following the laws of the maker of this universe, who once ruled in physicality. His appearance was visible in sense of his spirit was seen, his light was seen by the children of Israel at one time, and the said prophets of Israel and the said forefathers that we had, Abraham, Isaac and Jacob, subsequently the children of Israel, subsequently the prophets of Israel, saw that light. And since that time, that light obviously, which is still there and still here, it is not visible to all. All cannot see it and sustain it. But you have, wherever there is the light, there is the glow of that light. So you will have the glow of that light, and you will have the people around you, and the people will be the ones that are progenitors from that light. So it's kind of interesting that when I came to this country, the first thing that was established was a graveyard for the people, number one, and number two, then the certain cities were established as the cities of refuge, and Texas being one. My goodness, Texas became a place of city of refuge, which is interesting. And I would go so far as to say, not just Texas, San Antonio, but other cities may later come into the fold as well, which, as the dictates of Yahweh, the God of Israel, that will be decided by His behest, and not by myself. I only follow the instructions of the God of Israel, as and when He decides to follow those instructions. So that's just by the by, just a little bit information. And I thought, with that in mind, I wanted to make sure that you understand that things do change, things shift. People get divorced and people get remarried, and those things happen, and those are kind of out of our hand. We cannot say that, hey, I'm going to be with one woman for the rest of my life, or a woman cannot say I'm with one husband for the rest of her life, unless of course they make that choice. But as you know, in American society, this choice is harder to make for many people. They are not used to making choices like that. These kind of hardcore choices are made in the East. In the East, people live or die on those choices. Their words are their bond. They cannot change their words, midway through a marriage or through a deal and say, well, can I change my mind? Can I do it in a different way? I mean, there was a particular a poem, like a little two-line poem in the East that somebody sent me, and you know what that said? They said, love is not a dress that we continuously change. We don't change the dress of love from one to the next. Love, you see, when somebody dies over there, they put a white cloth on them, like a cotton cloth, and they give it a certain name, and they bury the person in that. And in this particular instance, the poem went that love is that piece of cloth. It is do or die. There is no change in that love. So in other words, when a man or a woman commit to somebody in the East, they don't decide midway, 15 years down the line, hey, I don't love you anymore, get out of my way. They don't do that. They cannot do that. That is just not done in the East. However, over here in the West, of course, it's not like that. And Toda for that, Rabbi Zachariah. And so in the East, this is the norm. In the West, I guess things are different over here. So having said that, just the point of view, and I wanted to point something out, and maybe if you get the opportunity, maybe you go and see what I said to you is true. There's this particular story that I heard and I saw, and this is a true story, by the way. This happened in India back in the 70s, from kind of 60s onwards, 70s, 80s, maybe even into the 90s. And this story is a true story of a southern state in India, where a particular area, I think it's known as a KGF, and there's a movie that's made on it. It's called KGF Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. And KGF Chapter 1, Chapter 2 is a movie of a place where they found a gold mine. And this gold mine was a particular spot. This is a big mine, and one particular person, like a person of a particular gang, they took that area over. They purchased the whole area. They then established a mine. Then they started to bring people into that mine that they were, how shall I say it, slave labor. They were basically kidnapping people, men, women, children, and they were taking them into that area, and they were enslaving them in and around the mine area, and they were making them dig for gold. And then these people who did that became very, very rich, because they were producing a lot of gold in India through that mine. Now that story was suppressed by the Indian government, because that's kind of like a shame, little bit shame on Indian government, that they had allowed certain people, ordinary people, to be enslaved and put behind these kind of practices, where they were kept over there for years and years and years, and their children were born there and they were dying there, but they were not allowed to come out from that particular place. And until one particular man was born through a poor woman, real poor woman, dirt poor, and this woman asked her son for two promises. She said, number one, that you will become very, very rich. You will not have poverty like I have poverty. By the way, this is a true story. And she said, you will not have poverty like I have poverty. And you will not be poor like I was poor. You will be very, very rich. Number one, this is what you're going to do for me. And she said, number two, you're going to go and fight for the oppressed. The poor people like me who are oppressed, you're going to fight for them, and you're going to become their savior. Now this man's going to make Rambo look like, a mouse. I have to tell you that. This man was such a great fighter. He was so good in his real life that he was known, he was part of a gang, but this man went everywhere and he beat everybody up left, right and center, barehanded, with weapons and without weapons. He was extremely agile. He was very, very good, and he managed to secure at one time big part of Mumbai as his district, and eventually he was summoned to go to the south where this mine was, and he was the only person, by the way, this is a man who ended up killing that gangster that was occupying all those poor people in that mine and subjugating them. Now, if you think that today's prison population in America is bad, or I sometimes hear from people saying, the black man's being oppressed in the prisons over here, and a lot of prisoners in America are black, which is true. A lot of prisoners in America are black people, and they will say that the black men are being oppressed over here. I'll say that the black people here in the prisons are taking a walk in the park in comparison to what these people in India were going through. If India were Indians were going through slavery, it was a terrible, terrible type of slavery. It wasn't the slavery even the slaves in America endured, where they were given lands, to produce food, and they were given certain amounts of liberties, even though they were slaves. But the Indian slaves were not given lands, they were not allowed to leave certain spots, and they were subjugated completely. They were chained, and they could not, some of them, escape their chains, and they were only released from chains to go into the mines to dig for gold. If they became injured, they were killed and buried in trenches. So they were not given a chance to even remedy their illnesses. They were just simply killed and shot. There was one particular scene in this movie in which a child crosses a line that they had made, a chalk line that no one can cross. So this kid playing a ball crosses this line, and then this mother chases after the kid and this ball was made up from rubber bands. Don't even think about football. Rubber band ball. He was playing with it and he falls over the line, and the mother follows after the child. And first that guard these gangs were very well armed. They had all sorts of modern weapons, all sorts of modern cars. They were very, very rich, because their owners were filthy rich with the gold they were producing. So they had bought them bazookas, machine guns, heavy machine guns. They could take aircraft down. Even Indian military would not go into those areas. So what happened was that these people, this man on the watchtower, when this kid crosses a line and the mother goes after him, first he shoots the mother down, then he shoots the little kid down as well. This is how they were, heartless. They didn't care about life. So when people complain over here, hey, I'm in such a bad situation, I remind people to go look at the KGF Chapter 1 movie. Maybe it will add some perspective into your life. How, people were enslaved in our modern world with, present governments present and not helping these people. So this man was the only man, this man who was known as the KGF Chapter 1, fighter, this man who came out from a poor woman, was who went into that area, and there was absolutely impossible to get to this leader, this leader of this mines, because his it's called KGF Chapter 1. Google it up and you'll see. It's a true story, by the way. And this man, this man that was protected, the leader of that mine, he was living like a White House, a big, massive palace. And this palace was behind the mines. It was totally fortified. No one could get to it. There was only one way to get to him. It was through one mine, that there was an entrance through one mine to his house, and nobody knew it. Except this man goes there and he does a recce, he becomes part of the workers, he looks at the situation of these people. He actually, before he enters that place, he kills 29 people. 29 people he kills with his bare hand. This is what I said, the Rambo will look like a mouse in America, compared to him. He kills 29 people bare hands. And then he enters that mine. He only injures the 30th, only with a few breaths before he dies. He says, look, I saw a man. This man came from out of nowhere and he killed 30 of us. I only survived, and then he dies after that. He doesn't live either. So this is the kind of man I was talking about, that this was kind of like a born as a savior. And then there were, the movie is going to 2 chapters. I didn't get to chapter 2. I couldn't download it. But chapter 1 I saw. My goodness, what a heart-rending movie. It was such a story that they actually burnt. One of the journalists went into India, into that region, trying to get the story of this man, and he wrote a story of this man. I don't know, he did 20 years of research, and he wrote the story of this particular incident in India, and they burned the books. They would not let the books be published because it was bringing shame onto Indian government. Of course, all the establishment, military, police, there was an area of India where people were being subjugated, and people were being mistreated, and people were being, used for, unpurposeful gains by gang people. So I think it'd be a good idea, if you ever get opportunity to see it, see KGF Chapter 1. You may be able to download that one and see it. But Chapter 2, I think, is right now unavailable, although it's out there, probably in the cinemas, but I'm not quite sure how to get it over here right at this point. But I just wanted you to know that, certain things are happening around the world in which people are, ordinary people are being put into slavery, and, in our time period, and subjugated far worse than the American slavery even. But that's sad commentary. That's not a good commentary for those countries, especially India. Now, I don't know, how much of it goes on over there now, but I guess we'll find out sooner or later. But India is not the panacea that it wants to be. India has a lot of darkness in its society, that it subjugates poor people and uses them for, all sorts of nefarious means. In fact, it is commonly known that people in India who sleep on the roads, on the footpaths, are regularly killed by, rich society driving at night in their, luxury cars, and they're sometimes, driving in drunkardly and disorderly, and they end up, running their cars over these people and end up killing them, and nothing ever happens. No one ever gets into prison, and no one ever, because, they just pay the police, and it's, the police just turn a blind eye. This, by the way, is a regular occurrence in India. So sadly, a lot of these things occur. But this is why I said, people who complain in America should really reconsider their complaints, because there are far more worse people than them in India. And India is one country, maybe other countries too, but India is just one place. Just to consider that the plight of these people. having said that, well, we'll come back to the. I wanted to come back to our parsha. Our parsha is Parshas Kedoshim, and here I wanted to, before I go into the parsha, I wanted to speak the words of basically our Messiah, Yeshua, Jesus of Nazareth. And Jesus of Nazareth said something which kind of resonated with me, and I thought you might be interested to hear that. It might be relevant. In Mark chapter 6, verse 4, Jesus said to people around him, he said, a prophet is not without honor except in his own town, among his relatives, and in his own home. I thought, that's my goodness, how relevant is that? A prophet is not without honor except in his own town, among his relatives, and in his own home. That is so absolutely true, that if you today went to your relatives and said, hey, let's follow the laws that God dictates for us, and let's see, because these will help us, these will benefit us, these will be great for us, and I can guarantee you that you're going to be shot down, not literally, of course, because there's shotguns over here in America. You won't be literally shot down, but you'll probably be shot down by the mouth, verbally, by your own relatives, because they will tell you that they already have a religion, and they'd rather you go to their religion than you start to profess the words of the God of Israel. They will not want to hear it. So you'll be shot down. So these words of Yeshua, the Master, Yahushua, Jesus of Nazareth, are so true that it's kind of like funny but true, that a prophet, a man of God, has no honor in his own home, in his own hometown, by his own relatives. They do not respect him. They do not give him credence, because he is obviously, to them he's been brought up in their families, and in the Master's case, he was brought up, and then as we know that he was a carpenter's son, or builder's son, and he was a carpenter as well, and they did not want to treat him more than a carpenter, and they wanted to just treat him as an ordinary carpenter. He can only make doors and windows. What does a carpenter know about the word of God? See, that was the kind of mentality that they had. Is that, what does a carpenter know about the word of God? Why should he teach us? We know better than him, etc. As it so happens in our society, this is usually the case. And so here, I wanted to now go back and look at aspects of the Parsha, because when Jesus of Nazareth, when he walked the earth, people did not want to believe that he had any relationship with God, or that he was a son of God, or that he was God, in flesh, etc. They don't want to hear about it. To them, that's blasphemy. And as we saw a lot of that going on in the New Testament pages, where they wanted to stone him to death, wanted to kill him, and they wanted to do all sorts of things to him because they didn't like the words that came out of his mouth. So the Bible talks about, in this particular parsha, which I think is relative and related, it says, and Yahweh spoke to Moshe, saying, speak to all the congregation of the children of Israel, and say to them, you shall be holy, for I, Yahweh your power, am holy. Each of you must respect his mother and his father, and guard my Sabbaths. I am Yahweh your power. Do not turn to idols, nor make for yourselves molten Elohim, molten gods. I am Yahweh your power. And if you offer a sacrifice of shalom offerings to Yahweh, you shall offer it at your own will. It shall be eaten the same day you offer it, and the day after, and if any remains until the third day, it shall be burnt in the fire. And if it be eaten at all on the third day, it is abominable, it shall not be accepted. Therefore everyone that eats it shall bear his iniquity, because he has profaned the holy thing of Yahweh, and that soul shall be cut off from among his people. And when you reap the harvest of your land, you shall not wholly reap the corners of your field, neither shall you gather the gleanings of your harvest. Now, and so it kind of so on and so forth. And then it goes on to verse 10, you shall not glean your vineyard, neither shall you gather every grape of your vineyard. You shall leave them for the poor and foreigner. I am Yahweh your power. Now, I thought that's kind of interesting, using the word foreigner over there. It also speaks about not lying, stealing, etc. It also speaks about in verse 12, but that you shall not swear by my name falsely, neither shall you desecrate the name of your power. I am Yahweh. Neither shall you defraud your neighbor, neither rob him. The wages of him that is hired shall not abide with you all night until the morning. So I wanted to look at the word foreigner. Of course, here America is very tense right now with foreigners coming in, from different nations, Mexico and likes, and other nations surrounding Mexico, Latin America. There's a lot of tension right at this point in America with who we should let in and who we should not let in, etc. Because I guess the government has issues with people who come in illegally, and hence why, forget about leaving the corners of your field. We're putting walls up to block everybody from coming in. So that's the kind of the environment that we're living in today. So in a sense, I can understand why the government of this country wants to do that. They feel they need to protect the people from violence and from, I guess, criminals who try to get in through porous borders. And having said that, I think that fair enough. That's really not for me to say one way or the other. I'd rather stay in neutral mode, and I'd rather stay with Yahweh's laws and say, what, if I come across a foreigner, as I'm a foreigner myself, because that's what Yahweh tells you, that you were once foreigners in the land, that you have to treat the foreigners with respect and some kind of duty towards them. So having said that, fair enough. Rabbi Kefa saying that karma, at one time America shipped thousands of people over here against their will. That's right. That's right. So now karma comes back to visit America. But having said that, so we got to understand where we are. But I wanted to kind of give you a brief, which I thought it would be nice to give this brief, because this is where we're going to dovetail into this parsha real nicely with Kedoshim. Kedoshim means holiness, set apartness, etc. And the dovetail is this, is that it says here that each of you must respect his mother and his father and guard my Sabbaths. Now, it's not necessary that your mother and father are always the people who gave you birth, because when you're growing up, you will have spiritual fathers, you will have spiritual mothers, and you may have a second mother or a second father. I'm not talking about marriage of your husband, of your father to another woman. I'm basically saying that somebody that you never even thought could become your mother or could become your father. So this is not just talking about your physical mother and father, biological. This is talking about every person that you come across that can become your mother and father. In other words, let me give you a little synopsis. When you go out to help other people, to make them successful, you will be successful by default. Success will come and kiss your feet if you do that. But when you go out and you want to do a demise of somebody else, you say, hey, I want to, bring that person down because I don't like him. You will be the first person to be demised and brought down. So let me explain that in succinct terms. When people go out and they, let me give you a simple example. You have two black people in America. They have, one black person has a store and the other one doesn't. So this one black person doesn't want to go to the black person's store because he thinks, why should I go to his store and make him, blessed or benefited? I don't want to go to him. Let his store go to bust. I'd rather see myself succeed than see him succeed. So it's kind of, they don't want other person to succeed. And what happens is that this is you'll probably relate to that this is common, where people start becoming against other people because, hey, that black man has a store and I don't like that black man, so you shouldn't go to that store. It's kind of one mentality that we are dealing with here in this society. Having said that, then there's the other mentality. One Chinese man has a store and another Chinese family says, hey, that Chinese man's store, we want to go there because he's one of our countrymen. We want to benefit him. So the Chinese go to the Chinese store. See, that's the offset of, the society that we live in. One part from the East, totally different thinking. We want to go to help our person in the East. The other person brought up in the West, totally opposite thinking. I want to see him dead before he succeeds, kind of thing. And so with that in mind, it is very important to understand, when you want to be successful in your lives, and people come to me all the time asking that question, how shall I be successful? The first thing that you need to be successful is to help others become successful. When you help others become successful, then automatically the universe, God, will make you successful. This is why God has already put it into our scriptures. The stories are there. But I think most of us are, because of ignorance, because of lack of understanding, we don't really grasp those stories. And this is why I wanted to take you to the story of our forefather Jacob. Jacob went to make successful his uncle. Remember, his uncle Lavan, he made him successful. He looked after his sheep, goats, cows, and he produced more and more. But Uncle Lavan was very evil. He continued to change his wages, he continued to lie to him, and he continued to try to cheat him. But still, Jacob kept up trying to help his uncle. And in the end, he did try to help his uncle. His uncle did enrich his uncle. But in that process, Jacob himself became very rich. And he left that town, that city he left in Iraq with 4 wives, and of course the children, 11 children at the time. He didn't have the 12th one yet. Benjamin wasn't yet born. He left with 11 sons and many herds and servants. Same way, when we look at the same way at Joseph, the son of Jacob, he went to Egypt. When he was in Egypt, he tried to make the Pharaoh successful. Pharaoh wasn't being very successful at the time, because Pharaoh was getting dreams that his country is going downhill. He didn't know what to do. He was getting a recurrent dream. Recurrently, he was worried. Something bad is going to happen. Bad karma. Something bad is coming. Can somebody explain to me this dream? All his magicians, all his great men in Egypt could not explain the dream. Then Joseph comes along. Joseph is summoned, and he explains the dream, and he tells him how to be successful. This is a principle, by the way, and it is on our scriptures. And so at that point, the Pharaoh says to Joseph, why don't you become my advisor, my prime minister? Since you are the one who knows it, then you are the one who should run this ship, because I let you run it, and I'm just simply the signature. I'll just put the stamp, and you do the rest. So in our history, what we find is that Joseph was the one that really made Egypt successful. And Egypt climbed to new heights of highness during Joseph's stay. But as soon as Egypt went back to the old ways, where they wanted to put down the children of Israel, and they wanted to kill their sons, and they did kill some of their sons, and they wanted to do other evils, then Egypt went very quickly into gutter syndrome. So this is why I say that in order to be successful, the first thing you need to do is to make others around you who you feel deserve to be successful as well. I guess, that's something that you have to ascertain. By that, when we look at our Torah, our laws of God, beautiful laws, perfect laws, no one can ever, say that they are not good. Here it says that each of you must respect his mother and his father and guard my Sabbaths. It is clear at this point that we're not just talking about a physical, biological mother and father. We're also talking about other people who become your spiritual fathers. So very, very important that you respect them. What a lot of the times happens is when somebody becomes somebody's spiritual father or mother, they are only respected for a time, and then after that they're kicked in the face, and then they're put down, and then they're spoken bad about, and then people just walk away thinking they did a great job. They didn't do a great job, because they're going to get it back in their face. In other words, they will be visited with the similarities if they did that. If you try to make another person fail because of whatever reason, because you don't like their color, or you don't like the clothes they wear, or you don't like the perfume they use, then you will be visited by that, and you will be the one that will be demolished down first. By the way, that is the law of our God. Yeah, that's the law of our God. That's how it works. So in your lives, what you must do is to try to help people to be successful. When I go to the East and I see people and I do something, I don't do it because, hey, it makes me feel great. I don't do it because it makes me feel great. Or moral obligation. I don't do it out of moral obligation. Sometimes I just do it because I feel that that is what needs to be done. It's not always a moral thing, because when we do something out of a universal vibration is when, for instance, you saw a man on the street that was destitute, and you felt, you saw him and you felt like, well, it's not really a moral obligation to feed him. You don't have to, because you have moral obligation to your family first. You might just feel like, what, this man is down and I'm going to buy him a meal. It's out of kindness. I call that an act of kindness. When you go out and do an act of kindness, that will be the high vibration you send into the universe. And by the way, that vibration will return back manifold to you. So it is very important that we do acts of kindness. This is why when I was translating the Abrahamic Faith Nazarene Hebraic Study Bible, there was a couple of particular verses where I had to look at the translations and I had to make sure that they were translated correctly. And one of those was Micah chapter 6 verse 8, where it says, He has showed you, O man, what is good, and what does Yahweh require of you, but to practice acts of justice and loving acts of kindness, and to walk humbly with your power. This loving act of kindness is exactly what I'm speaking about. That's one of the acts of kindness, which is sending a high vibration. We are actually instructed to do that by God. So this is not something that I just made up. It's not one of my kind of things. So this is something that I speak about, that you have to do as an act of kindness. Once you do that act of kindness, it can result in manifold terms. I was reading this book that I purchased called Homeless to Billionaire. And in this book, this man speaks about a spiritual mother. He speaks about this woman where, he was in Thailand and he had no food to eat, and this woman gave him a bowl of noodles every day for $1, but he didn't have money to pay for it. And so he speaks about this woman becoming his second mother and being very polite to him, being very happy to him, and also giving him something which, when she completely well knew that he wasn't able to pay for it and may not be able to pay for it even later. So she didn't think about, hey, I'm only going to give him this noodle soup if he pays me first or makes a promise to pay me. She doesn't do it for that basis. She just does it because she was a giving woman. She was putting out a good vibration. And so this person put down, Andreas, who's a billionaire, Andreas put down that I am still looking for that woman. I'm still looking for that woman today because she disappeared from the area. She is no longer there running her store. Store shut down because it wasn't very busy. He says, the day I find that woman, I'm going to give her a free restaurant so she can have that smile on her face, because this woman helped me become my spiritual mother, and I always remember her face. So he also speaks about a kind of acts of kindness. He's talking about acts of kindness. One second, I got people kind of chasing me. Let me send a quick message. So what happened, so he speaks about these acts of kindness, and then he speaks about one particular act in which he says that there was this particular orphanage, and this orphanage was in a kind of little bit of a state, and he talks about, I wanted to do something about this orphanage, and I wanted to refurbish it or repair it or paint it over and all that. And he said what he did was he spent $80,000 on this orphanage to repaint it and bring it to some kind of good state, because he felt that he needed to do this, not out of moral obligation, but out of kindness, acts of kindness. So he did this act of kindness, although he doesn't use quite the word act of kindness, but that's what I see in his wording. He wanted to do it as an act of kindness, and he said, I put this out there, and what happened, after he did that, he said $80,000 seems a lot of money in Thailand, and it was a lot of money in those days. But he says that was one quarter or something of his salary, what he was earning a year. And he said that after he did that, the universe sent him back the vibration that he put out for the act of kindness. The universe sent him back the biggest deal of his life. He said he was trying to sell a home, and he got $1 million commission on that home after that, and plus he got $80,000 on top. So he said not only did he get to become the millionaire that he wasn't at the time, and plus he got the $80,000 he spent. In other words, what he was trying to relay was that when you do an act of kindness, not out of moral obligation, kindness, the result is extremely beneficial to you. So my point was to you guys, to our family over here, the awesome tribes of Israel, was that we don't do everything out of moral obligation. When I asked you to help the widow, I wasn't doing it out of moral obligation. Yes, Yahweh tells us to help widows and orphans. But sometimes we don't do it out of moral obligation, because I could have simply said, hey, the widow has, $50 a month salary, and she can find food for that $50 a month. Why should I help her? I could have said that easily. But I did it not out of moral obligation, but out of an act of kindness. And I wanted to make sure that you all were part of that act of kindness. Why? Because I understood before even Andres wrote it down, that what the act of kindness can do for you. For each one of you, when you put it out there into the universe, it will reverberate and bring you back many blessings into your life. And you will see that for yourself. If you haven't seen it, you will start seeing it, because it will happen. That this will happen. Years ago, years and years and years ago, when I was instructed at one point through the Holy Spirit, that I needed to do an act of kindness, and I won't go into the particulars of that, and I did that, then my goodness, my life, reverberated. My goodness, things that happened afterwards, incredible. And things just shifted and speeded up a lot. And I went from one place to another, from one height to another very, very quickly. And I believe that was through the act of kindness. And I've done that not once, not twice, many times in my life. Now, when we went to Africa to help the people over there, I did not do it out of moral obligation. I have no moral obligation to Africa whatsoever. So let's get that straight for now. Me and Rabbi Kefa had no moral obligation. Our moral obligation was to the children of Israel in America, in Pakistan, maybe in some of the other countries like India maybe. That's where our moral obligation rested, if it rested anywhere. Our moral obligation did not allow us to go to Africa and spend our own money and then just dish it to the people. I did it out of selfless love and kindness. But our kindness was taken advantage of. It didn't really matter to me whether they took advantage of our kindness, because to me, it was an act of kindness. Even if the people were liars and cheaters and deceiters at the other end, I didn't care about that. I decided it was an act of kindness, and Rabbi Kefa was with me at the time, who was, fully in with me, and Rabbi Kefa and myself together, we, invested the money, and we lost it, and no problem whatsoever about it. I have no bitterness about it. I'm grateful that I got the opportunity to do that. Between the two of us, $50,000 was spent, by the way, for your information. So I don't have no bitterness about it today. But I know one thing, I received tremendous, tremendous blessings as a result of that. I remember the time that I was trying to print the first printings of the Abrahamic Faith Bible. At the time, I had no money to print it. So I went out and I said, you know what, I'm going to do this as an act of kindness. And what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to borrow 15,000 pounds, which at that point was about $22,000. I borrowed $22,000 from the bank to produce and print the Bible at that time. That was 20 years ago, by the way. I have never regretted that decision. because the God of Israel paid me back many times over for that decision. So much that I can't even explain it. Therefore, I urge you all to understand and learn from me that don't always do things from moral obligation. Don't do it from moral obligation. Do it from an act of kindness. Always put the act of kindness in front of you first. Do it from that. If you do it from the act of kindness, you will never regret what you have done. You will always benefit. You will always receive back. But I didn't do it. I didn't do it because it's going to make me feel great or it's going to make me a big person. I did it because I said to myself, you know what, Simon? If you don't do it, who is going to do it? Who is going to come and do it on your behalf? No one. So I said, I am going to do it. Because, people say, hey, I want to buy that car. I want to buy that new car. Hey, I'll go grab a loan to buy that car, and I'll pay monthlies $200, $300 a month. And I said, why can't I do the same for the Bibles? Why can't I go and borrow a loan and say, I'll pay monthlies? You know what? I paid monthlies for that loan for 5 years, and I did it. And I'm so grateful that I did that. If you have the Bible today, it's because of that one act of kindness I decided to do, not to speak about the 20 years I spent trying to research and translate the Hebrew and the Aramaic and the Greek back into English and other languages. I mean, I'm not talking about that. That's another part of my story. 18 hours a day I used to spend, 18 hours a day I used to spend trying to translate this Bible. My time in my train, my time in my home, I had no recollection of where I was at the time. I was totally surrounded by Hebrew and Aramaic and Greek at the time. That was my life when I was trying to translate that Bible. So praise Yahweh that, praise God that I was able to do it. And I'm happy and thankful that I was, and that it's out there and people can benefit from it. So that's an act of kindness as well, in my opinion, not an act of moral obligation. So every time you do something, please think about that we need to do things from not from moral obligation, but from acts of kindness, and give thanks. Give thanks to God that He has given you the ability. I thank God that given me the ability to actually get the loan, because if I wasn't able to get the loan, how would I be able to put it out? There would be no way to put it out. So I was very grateful that I was in a position to borrow money in order to put it out. And I didn't think about, hey, I'm going to make great money and this. No, I couldn't care less about that part. I didn't care. I couldn't care about, even if I didn't get one single dollar. I thought, I'm going to do this and I'm going to pay the loan off, and this Bible's going out there, period. That's it. That was my take. And Rabbi Zakaria, yeah, you are the recipient of the first edition, and that's my goodness, that's now a collector's edition. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. So with that, like I explained to you the stories in our scriptures, do not ever allow yourself to be, put down and, say to something, hey, I'm not going to do it because, I don't have the money and so blah, 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 I'm unhappy and I can't borrow a loan. No. Even if you have to sell your car, if you have to sell yourself, you do something out of act of kindness. When you put an act of kindness into the universe, you send out a very powerful vibration into the universe. That is why when I was translating this scripture back, 20 years ago, or let's just say 12 years ago, I was, thinking about it. I was thinking, what shall I write over here about this? What shall I write about this? And I was like, I need to write something about this, but how shall I phrase it? Because, I'm going to have a hard time trying to phrase this and explain to people. So I thought, I tell you what, I'm just going to put down act of kindness. Boom, that's it. I did it. I didn't want to put any explanation here why is this an act of kindness and not something else. So this is why now I'm giving the explanation of what I did 12 years ago. Now is the explanation coming for that. There are things that I do and I don't explain it. So that's just me at the time, because I just don't explain to people everything. This is why I wanted to give an explanation earlier. I wanted to give an explanation earlier to you that don't ever, think that, I'm going to help somebody else and hey, what about me? No, let somebody else be helped. Secondly, I wanted to explain to you about the cities of refuge that the priesthood establishes. No one can take those away. No one can change those. The houses that have been established, maybe one day and I won't say now what is going on, but in one day, in the next maybe decade, I will tell you what has happened and what is yet to come to pass. But this will happen in a decade, I can assure you. And I will tell you, I will set up another testimony for you then, that this is what I did and this is what happened in return. But like I said, no one can take away things that the priesthood establishes. It just cannot be done. I don't care how powerful they are. I don't care how much they think they can be powerful and usurp it and take you to court or whatever. It doesn't matter. These are all, nothing. It's nothing. So having said that, is great. And I'm so happy and grateful. I'm so happy and grateful today that I was able to help a particular fellow Israelite in the East do something for him, an act of kindness, pure sheer kindness, because he said to me, he wanted me to find a wife for him. And I said, okay, I will make a priority to look for a wife for you. And I was looking for a wife for him in the East. This is something I don't like doing because, my goodness, this is something that you can get into all sorts of muddles and fuddles. And I don't like doing that act, don't like doing the date matching things, because a lot of the times they end up in all sorts of problems. But anyhow, I said to this person, I will look for you. I will look for you. So I asked somebody over there. I said, I have a friend, a student, and I need a wife for him. This is his age, and this is the kind of woman I'm looking for. Could you please assist me in looking up this kind of person? And so a woman was found, by the way. A woman was found, and I then, they came back to me and said, a woman is found. What do you want us to do now? I said, I want you to go to that city where the woman is, visit the family, and establish, some kind of contact. And they of course, wanted me to tell them what to do. And I said, don't worry about the money. And my friend at the point said to me, I don't have the money right now to, pay for this kind of event, marriage event or visiting event or whatever, like there's some traditions around that, the traditions that you have to do. And they're like, I'm not kind of able to pay. And I said to him, stop right there, my friend. I will pay for it. I will do the excavation. I will do the reconnaissance. I will send the family out there that I have, and I will make sure everything's taken care of from my end. You don't worry about the money. I'm not asking you for the money. So I did an act of kindness for this person, this real Israelite, by the way, biological Israelite. I did this act of kindness for him, not out of moral obligation, but out of act of kindness, because I wanted to help him. And now we already established that the family I kind of instructed in the East to go there, I already paid them the money. I said, you take this money, you go there, you find this woman, and then you report back the results to me. And I'll take it from there. Because this person told me that it is in your hand. He said to me, Kohen, this is in your hand. Whatever you decide, that shall be the case in my life. So, and so shall it be. And that's what it is. And he told me, he said he has a house in the East. And he told me, whenever you come to this country, I will have one section of my house, one apartment of my house will be always vacated for you, always, the rest of my life. That's what he told me as well. So I said, thank you very much. I said, thanks, it's great. And one day maybe I will visit you over there as well. So having said that, these are acts of kindness. These are not done out of moral obligation. I like to do them because I just feel that they have the greatest comeback for a blessing upon the person. Now, this is why sometimes when I do something, I always try to involve all of you, the awesome tribes of Israel, because I want you to be the benefactors of the blessings too, not just myself. Hence why sometimes I tell you in something that's occurring, and other times I don't, because sometimes you might feel that, hey, I don't know, Cohen is asking us to give money again, so I don't always involve you. I just put myself out there instead. Having said that, that's basically where I am. So our Parsha, which speaks about the Kedoshim, the holiness, the set apartness of Yahweh's people, the children of Israel. And remember, as I said, not only is the mother and the father biologically your parents, but your spiritual fathers could be your teachers. I could be a spiritual father to many. Rabbi Kefa could be a spiritual father to many. So therefore, these are your spiritual fathers as well. Having said that, in order to be blessed in your lives, in order to be benefactors of blessings, always remember, lift your, always keep your spiritual fathers, spiritual mothers in mind of what they do for you. And it could be anybody. It could be, it could be Rabbi Michael, it could be Rabbi Benaiah, it could be Rabbi Hoshea. There could be spiritual fathers to people as well. So therefore, always respect your teachers, respect your leaders, respect their wives, and give them the best you can, because they are not your biological mother, father, but they are more than that, because they are giving you the spiritual food, the spiritual nourishment that you may not get anywhere else. And this man, this billionaire guy, his name's Andreas Pira. Andreas speaks about the spiritual food and the nourishment that he got from his spiritual mother. That was so very important for his life to propel him forward. And I thought, what a beautiful testimony that he gave for this woman who wasn't even related to him. She's a totally different culture, different, country, yet, he remembers her fondly to this day. So with that in mind, I thank you for listening to me, and remember, acts of kindness, number one priority on your sheet. Over to you, Rabbi Kefa. Todah. Shabbat Shalom and Shalom Shalom.
Todah HaKohim. If I can be heard, can I get a one, please? This is Rabbi Kefa, proud father of a soon-to-be newborn son here in September 29, 2019. Super happy, super excited, enjoying every moment and experience. Todah HaKohim for your lecture and instruction is truly spot on with where we are. We're dealing with the Parsha of Kedoshim. Holiness, in my opinion, holiness, can be summed up into one word, and that's showing kindness and acts of kindness. If you look at the life of the Master Yeshua, the Master Jesus of Nazareth, wasn't he kind to everyone? Truly he was. So again, let's put the words on the paper, on the black and white. Let's begin to apply them. And this is what I want to talk about today, is about being specific. Specific. Let's not beat around the bush here. I mean, when you go and you want to buy a house, or you want to buy a car, or you want to buy any kind of material possession, don't you want the specifics or you want the generalities? Think about that. Think about that for a minute. And before we go any further, I'd like to, another opportunity to do acts of kindness. I don't know where we are with helping the Israelite get to the Kohen. Anybody that wants to circulate their energy to help the Israelite get to the Kohen for the sit-down meeting on our history. Where are we at on that, Hakohen? Did you get the report earlier? I may have missed it. I was doing this update and it kind of knocked out my recording, my ability to be able to use the okay, Hakohen, you want to talk about that for a minute? I'll give you the mic back, because I want others to be I want others to still be able to participate if needs be and circulate in that area of positive energy. Releasing the mic.
Yeah, Todah for that, Rabbi Kefa. So where we are with that particular person, Abraham is still in California. He is still trying to do a few of the little, clerical things that he needs to do at his end. And after that, what he said to me, we spoke yesterday, and he said to me that as soon as he gets his clerical things done, some of the office things done, then he wants to catch a flight. He wants to try to catch a flight over here, where I am in Ohio, and wants to visit me for a few days at least, until he can then go back to, he's coming from Philippines. He may go back to Philippines direction. So I'm kind of waiting for him. The ticket price, I was checking the other day, the ticket price is at around $600, and he was saying to me, maybe I can come on the Greyhound. And I said to him, the Greyhound is going to set you back. You're going to have to circulate about $283, but that's a 4-day journey. So I said, my goodness, it's such a long journey for, and then you're going to have to spend another $283. So it's almost like $500 and something for a circulation of money to take him back to California, where his flight's going to be from. So I was saying to him that to me it's not viable to do that. I was saying to him it's probably better just to get on a flight. A flight is about I don't know, with the stoppages, it's about a 21-hour flight, and it was coming out to around close to $600. And I was saying to him that maybe it's better to catch a flight, not the Greyhound. It'll take 4 days here and 4 days back. That's 8 days journey, and it's too much. It's too much travel for a person. So where we are right now is, I guess, I don't know, as Rabbi Kefa was telling you, this is another act of kindness that we're trying to do. It's not a moral obligation. It's an act of kindness, and I think maybe if we could assist him in coming over, and maybe maybe we could pay the ticket money, $600 for him, and then he could just be here. Rest, food is not an issue. I take care of all of that side. I think that if we could collect about $600, and then Rabbi Kefa is the one at the San Antonio end. If you wish to participate in this act of kindness, I would encourage you to send any donations over to Rabbi Kefa to the Abrahamic Faith address at San Antonio, listed on our website. You can send it to Rabbi Lamont Clophus, LamontClophus. Yeah, please send it to him, and any monies that are sent to me, I can also tell you those. Yes, they can, Eddie. They can. And I would like to let you know, Kefa, that I did receive $100 from a particular awesome tribe member who said that this was for the act of kindness for the Israelites. So I already have $100, a recipient of that. We're about, if we just pay for the ticket, we're about $500 short as we stand. So with that, over to you, Rabbi Kefa. Or you could actually send the money to myself through PayPal donation. I know the PayPal doesn't have any field in there to mark it these days, but maybe you could just email me afterwards to let me know that this is for the donation to the Israelites ticket, and I will then know that this money is in reference to him, and then we'll keep a check on that, keep a mark on that. So as I said, I'm already a recipient of $100, and I'm grateful to the person who sent it, an awesome tribe member from, by the way, Australia. So it's a Kiwi. So okay, Tudah for that. Rabbi Kefa, over to you.
Tudah for that, Hakeem. Well, awesome tribes of Israel, guess what? We've already met the goal, Hakeem, because check your email. I'm going to call these people's names out so they'll know. Shane Yah sent in monies. I sent in money from the Kefa Ben Yafeh. And Joel James sent in monies totaling $500. So it's already met. Check your email. It's already met. Money is already in the B of A account. It's already met. Debt is already met. Baruch Hashem. So let's leave it open for any kind of love offering you want to give to this. I mean, this Israelite that's going to meet up with him. Maybe he needs a little spending money in his pocket. Nothing wrong with that. Let's leave it open so you guys can begin to circulate money as well. There was a lot of responses that came in of people that still wanted to hit. And I tell you, you need to add that to your affirmation of your I am. Can anybody give me some of the things that you say in your affirmations to the I am? Oh, and by the way, Shane Yah's donation, his money went towards on behalf of his daughter. Yeah, so I wanted to put that out because I told him I would. Can anybody give me some examples? Okay, I'm going to say I am, and then what do you say in your affirmations? Can anybody tell me? I am, for example, I am riches. I am abundance. I am, can anybody list some of the things that they say in affirmations daily? Because I know you all, again, specificity is key. Be specific. What are some things you say? Adia says, I am abundant. Okay, to talk about that, Adia. Anybody else? What you say? I tell you, and how Queen is so right, and I want to teach y'all another principle today that you all can begin to apply. And the thing of Serenity says, I am blessed. To die, Serenity. And your assistant, Serenity, we have some cream coming your way as well. I sent you some cream as well. To die for your assistance as well. And for all of you who do assist and do help out, it's highly appreciated. Use the cream. By the way, how many of you are utilizing that cream, the Ema Earth? And has it been beneficial to you? Please send me an email. Let me know what it's doing. You know, we're in trial studies. I am happy. I am peaceful. There you go. See, these are, I am a millionaire. There you go, Oliver. Vive la France. Vive la France, Oliver. Oliver says, I am a millionaire. I'm saying I am a billionaire. Who's to say we have to stop at millionaire status? It's unlimited, right? I am a winner. To God for that. I am a winning family. That's awesome. You see, your I am affirmation is a so Adidas, I am close to source energy, to divine energy. I am grateful and thankful for my health. I am serene and uplifted on high. I am. Whatever your I am is, and we're going to tie that in with the Pasha, because you want to talk about holiness, this all ties in. You'll see it in a minute. But your I am affirmations are key. But here's another one, you know, in dealing with Hakohi's lecture that's going to truly benefit you as well. Add this affirmation. Write it down. Put it on your boards. Put it in your bathroom. Put it on the kitchen refrigerator door so you can see them, say them every day throughout your day. This will build up your I am, your spirit man, your consciousness side. That subconscious will build it up, and you will become even more conscious. Start to begin to say this one. I am helpful. I am helpful. Add that one. Add that one. Write it down right now. It's powerful. I am helpful. You see, everything that the Kohen talked about during his lecture basically is summed up in that affirmation. And that affirmation then comes out into a physical representation. Because he's specific, then guess what? The energy that comes back to him, the vibration, the frequency is that of being a helper and helping others. And at the same time, when you do it, then you are helped as well. What a great, I mean...
Yeah, I think that Rabbi Kefa's mic dropped. I think he may be rebooting his system. We'll let him come back into the room, and I'll give him the mic once he comes back. He just dropped off. Maybe there's a drone flying over San Antonio right now, because it is close by to military establishments. They fly a lot of planes over there, and sometimes you just get a disruption of signals during these times. So we'll wait for him, and we will then continue with it. But however, as Rabbi Kefa was telling you, that you know, you should make that I am helpful as a affirmation daily, because that will then put you in the vibration and the position to be helpers to others, and then not only to be helpers, but then whatever is the help, type of help you are giving, will be provided by the universe as well. So if it's money will be provided. If it's emotional help, then emotional help, you know, capacity will be provided. So I'll let Kefa take the mic.
Okay, Chadasha for that. Kobe, am I back? Can I get a one or make sure? Looks like the internet. We're having some good rainy weather over here in San Antonio today. Actually, some storms. Yeah, Chadasha for that. I'm back over here now. So for all of you, there's still opportunity to double that, Kobe, for anyone else to participate, because what you're going to find is that there's an energy. And look, this is I gave you the affirmation, I am helpful. How many of you are going to add that to your list in your daily rituals? I am helpful to your aspirations. I am helpful. Now get this. Now we're going to put action to the helpful, okay? We're going to put action to it. This is what I want you to do. It's as simple as this. And get this, it's as simple as this, and you're going to see the energy that's going to come your way from being helpful. This is what I want you to do. All right. Now, depending on how your wallet looks, I want you to start carrying money in your wallet. Bills, like get you some ones. I do this every week. I go and I fill my dollar up with $5 bills. I put $5 bills in my wallet just for the week. You know, I'm gearing up for the week because I'm anticipating what? I want to be helpful, right? What's the best way to be helpful out there than giving somebody some money, right? So look, this is what I do. And you can do it with $1 bills. It doesn't matter. Just put like $20 $1 bills in your wallet. Man, your wallet's going to look pretty thick. But I want you to get this premise, you know, because you know what I like about the Homeless to Billionaire book? Is that the whole deal, the guy wasn't trying to do these things. He was actually trying to disprove the perfect law. Disprove law of attraction. Disprove universal law. And in trying to disprove it, he had to actually work it to disprove it, to prove that the methods do not work. And he found out that he couldn't disprove it. And so this is the whole thing behind it for you as well. Prove the universes. Prove God. Get you some $1 bills, put them in your wallet. I don't know if you want to put $20, $30, $40, $1 bills in your wallet, in your purse. $5 bills if you want. Some can do $20 bills. Keep them in your wallet. And listen, you can go two ways with this. Sometimes you will feel the urge just to want to walk up to somebody. It could be a child. I've been doing this with children. And I'm telling you, you want to get a high frequency? Do it with children. Do it with children. You see, Rabbi Benia, I don't do it so much with tipping because they already anticipate it. They're anticipating a tip. But when you do it to somebody, well, you just coming from left field on them. You throwing that right hook when they're not even expecting you to throw any punches at them. And I don't mean that literally. But you come at them and you give them something when it's unexpected. They don't expect you to do anything. You understand what I'm saying? They're not you don't know them from Adam, and yet you walk up to them and you give them $1 bill, you say, here you go. Or not even that. You could even put it in an envelope, put it in a white private envelope, and just leave the $5 bill. Just leave the envelope somewhere. Just leave it somewhere. Leave it on the bus, stool, somewhere where you know there's high traffic. And I'm telling you, when you do it to someone and you actually give it to them in person, I would just encourage you to sit there and look at their expression. Students of nature. Look at their expression. Look them in the eyes, and you can just see the energy because they become so happy. And guess what? You have just become helpful. You have helped somebody. Do you see how simple that is? And it can be anybody in your life. You could be walking down the street. You don't have to go look, well, let me find the poorest person around. No, it could just be anybody. Anybody that's attracted to you. It could be a person. It could be a little baby. It could be a little child. It could be an old lady. It could be a young lady. It could be an old man. It could be a young man. It could be a teenager. It could be anybody. But just being helpful. How about law enforcement? You know, we need to, gratitude for our law enforcement, those people that provide a service and help. Just not only law enforcement, anybody that's providing the service. How about go to them and buy them a coffee? Give them a little gift card so they can go to Starbucks and get some coffee. I tell you, and you just see the expression on people's face. And you see the energy and the frequency. And guess what? That comes to you. You helping that widow. Guess what? That positive energy, that vibration is going to come to you. It's going to come to you. Because you're a helper. So guess what? You're going to be helped. See, too many times we focus on, let me get mine first, then I can help somebody else. But what you need to do is focus on helping others, and then your help will come, and it will come even and faster and in truckloads. Do you understand that, Mishpahah? So just take dollar bills. Always keep money in your purse. Always keep money in your wallet. $1 bills, $5 bills. I just been doing $5 bills. I like the number 5. So I just been doing $5 bills. I keep $5 bills and I just go give it to somebody. I go to Walmart, I just give it that. There you go. And they're looking at me like in shock and awe. Some of them are, and they're so happy, they're like, well, what do you want? I don't want anything. Here you go. Have a nice day, ma'am. Have a nice day. And you're circulating energy. Do you see it? That's real. Because that's what it is. You're circulating energy, Mr. It's a beautiful thing. How many of you going to participate in that? Participate being a circulator of energy. That's what you're doing. And then you're going to see fixed in your life in such a magnitude and with such fervor and with a quickness, I'm telling you, it's going to work. You can know these people or you don't have to know them. Too many times I'm noticing within my own family is that they do a lot of talking, but nobody takes no kind of action. Nobody takes any kind of specific action to deal with whatever kind of situation. They just sit there and talk about the situation. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. You have people in your family like that? Oh, they love to talk about the situation. Oh, let's sit here about 4 hours and let's talk about the situation. But no. Let's sit here and let's spend 1 minute talking about how we're going to solve this, how we're going to take action. What's our plan of attack? What's our goal? Be specific. What do we want to accomplish? And that's what's wrong with people today in society. Is that they hot air, but no action. Air, but no action. That's a lecture title. But these are things that we need to consider. Taking action. And I tell you, I found this quote I want to read to you. I think it's just, and I'm just so super excited because I know about the $5 in the wallet. I see how that's working in my own personal life. And I'm telling you, money will come from unexpected sources. You want money to come from unexpected sources? Well, guess what you have to do? You have to circulate money in unexpected sources. That's why I say, don't give money to people who are already anticipating, or they're anticipating you're going to give them money. No, you want the money to come from unexpected sources. Then you need to help and give in unexpected sources and unexpected ways. I'm pretty sure Abraham, he's probably not expecting his family to buy him a ticket. He's going to be so happy. He's going to be so grateful. And guess what? That's going to come back to all of you that participate. Oh, I'm telling you, do you see the beauty in it? Some of you may have already. You're already recipients of that additional, that high frequency amperage of your vibration, of your energy that's coming back to you. And you're wondering like, wow, this miracle just came into my life and I'm just super happy. Why? It's because you're out there, you're giving out miracles. So guess what? Miracles going to come back to you. You put $5 in somebody's hand, they see that as a miracle. You put $1 in somebody, hey, put $1 in a little child's hand. And I'm telling you, you want to talk about energy, frequency? They get like, oh, I have $1. That man gave me $1. Don't even know you from Adam. Gave me $1. And what is that going to do? Not only are they going to find joy and happiness and such, just jubilation, full of just happiness, man. It's beautiful to see it. But then they're going to grow up and say, you know what? If that man can give us out $1, then I can do it too. I'm going to go give $1 to somebody too. I see that foreigner over there, I'm going to go give him $1. And believe me, I have great opportunity here in San Antonio, Texas. San Antonio, Texas is one of those cities that they call a city of refuge. Or what they call it, a sanctuary city, not a city of refuge. They call it San Antonio sanctuary city. Houston, Texas is also considered a sanctuary city. I think in California, I want to say San Francisco is considered a city of refuge. At Utah, Salt Lake City considers themselves a sanctuary city. So what's happening is because we're taking an influx of foreigners, or what they call immigrants, which I am, and my wife is one too. Now the ICE, they do not have enough facilities to hold these people. So guess what? I've seen it with my own eyes here in San Antonio. They're coming in and they're releasing these people. The ones that do get in, they're releasing them in sanctuary cities. So I have such great opportunity to be a helper. And you put $1 in these people's hands, and probably mean, they come here with empty pockets, and you give them $1. At the end of the day, they're human beings. At the end of the day, they're what? They're energy. They're made up of atoms. And so if you can make them happy, put some food in their stomach, make them happy, show them kindness, show and give acts of kindness, my goodness. They have great opportunity. Don't focus on the negativity. Oh, there's so much people coming in, blah, blah, blah. They're not coming in the right way. At the end of the day, they're here. And who's to say that they don't have visions and dream boards and desires and wants? You know what their biggest desire is? Is that they want to be in America. Who's going to stop that? If their desire is just as strong as yours is, and they're connected to the universes, and they're, you know, they may not understand the perfect law, but they're actually acting it out. He may not have known it as like the perfect law, but he's been doing it for years. For years, he's been acting it out. He's been acting out the specifics of the law without being able to put a name on it or a tag on it. You know what I mean? Some of you have been doing the same thing. How many of you are benefactors of that same thing? I was doing it in a roundabout way. I didn't know what it was, but I was doing it. I was doing it. And I would urge you all to do it. Just like Nike's slogan. Just do it. Act it out. Andres, this guy, this homeless to billionaire guy, he just did it. He was trying to disprove the perfect law. The law of the universes, universal laws. He was trying to disprove it. So he had to act it out. And then he realized that it works. It's really real. And this is a homeless guy sleeping under a palm tree on the beach, Miss Bob. How grateful and how thankful we should all be that we're homeless guys and homeless gals sleeping on the beach. We already have a leg up. But you still must begin to take the action, specific action. That's what's important. You must be specific. This is why I'm laying out for you today specific things that you could do to amp up your energy, your frequency, your vibration with the universes. This is how you do it. By being a helper. In your affirmations, as you write and as you journal, I am a helper. I am a helper. Well, you just can't say that. That's hot air. How about take it, put some $1 bills in your wallet. Never leave your wallet or your purse without $1 bills. $5 bills, $20 bills, and then just go out. And I'm telling you, whoever you're attracted to throughout your day, you see so many people throughout your day. And just give it to them. No questions asked. Tell them thank you and just give it to them. That's how simple it is, Miss Bahal. This is how you amp up your energy. This is how you help get recognition from the universes, from God. It's that you have to be applying God-like rules so that you can be made known. You hear that said time and time again in our history. As the Master Yeshua said, depart from me, I don't know you. How do you get known? Then you must be, you must make sure you're known of the universe. You must be recognized. Serenity is saying, if you give money to kids nowadays, people think you have evil designs. I think I would ask the parents first just to be careful. Oh yeah, you can do that as well. Of course you can. Of course you can, and you need to probably do it in front of the parents. Indeed, say, you know what, you know how you say it? Parents won't deny this. I don't care what faith you come from. You just say, look, I want to be a blessing. Say that. And I believe that any parent will like, okay, yeah, go ahead and be a blessing. I just want you to be the recipient of a blessing. I just want to be a blessing. You're Israel. Do you know you are a blessing? You are a blessing. Come on. Make that real. Make that blessing real. I want to be a blessing to Abraham that's trying to get here. You know, that is not trying, that's going to link up with the Kohen. I want to be a blessing to a widow, to many widows. Do you see it? But you don't just say it. Then you have to do it. You have to take action on the blessing. You have to back up blessing. But you see, what you see is just the opposite. I hear many people daily, and I know you do as well. They walk around and say, oh, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. The minute somebody comes up to them with a need, and there's a need for the circulation of money, then you can't find these people. There's crickets in the room. All of a sudden, what happened to that lady that was screaming, "I'm blessed"? What happened to that man that says he loves God and he has a relationship with God? That's a bunch of mumbo jumbo. Let the rubber meet the road, and let your words walk, and let your actions do the talking. Do you see that? What I just said? I can't believe that came out of my mouth. That must be from the Ruach. The Ruach, Kedoshim, set apart spirit. Thank you, Mother Wisdom. Let your words walk, and then let your actions do the talking. Do you see that? Daniel, a.k.a. Torah Walker, says, "As my mother always did told me, treat others the way you want to be treated." So when I was always seeing a homeless person, my heart goes out to them, because I always give thanks, and wow, that could be me, and how would I want someone to help me? I do it not having expectations, only that the person I am giving feels great and they have a decent meal. Oh, indeed. I mean, humanity, at the end of the day, need the essentials: food, clothing, and shelter. That's the basics. And if you can assist and you can circulate positive energy by doing something like that, I say Baruch Hashem. I say Baruch Hashem to that. I give thanks to the God of Israel that you and I are able to be blessings in our societies, in our world. We're able to make and infuse positive change. I like the title Hakohi has for the Power Talk Room. How many of you have seen it? Empower yourself in the footsteps of Jesus. We need to empower ourselves. We need to empower not only ourselves, but we need to empower the worlds that we live in, thus empowering ourselves. Do you see it? Do you see it? These are the kind of vehicles that we are. I want to empower other people, like Akoni said in his lecture, to be successful, to be overcomers. How can I help you overcome? Well, my stomach is growling. If you could put some noodles in it, that would be nice. Okay, I'm going to help you overcome. You have just infused positive energy, frequency, vibration into this world, into Mother Earth. Isn't that great? That's good stuff, Ishmael. It's not all about these fancy formulas, this, that, the other, and the third. No, it's not about that. Let's read something from our books. Right out of our books. I want you right now. Let's start reading from Leviticus chapter 19 to 16. You shall not go up, and again, I read from the, Abrahamic faith, Exarm study scriptures, which is still I think it's still called what? The Hidden Truth Brain Scrolls for now. But this Bible is a must-have for any home. And this week we've been getting many calls about people asking about this Bible. Again, I read from this Bible, and it's going to give you so much insight. You listen via YouTube. If you still need instruction on how to get this Bible, please do phone in to us. Believe me, I can help you. I can help you get your hands on that Bible. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it at Lulu. But this Bible is a must-have. Hakolim talked about spiritual leaders, spiritual guides. That's one of the major fields that's going to be in demand as well. As the robots are here and with us. They're not coming, they're here and with us. And people will always have a desire, just like they always need to have food in their stomach and nourish their bodies. They're going to always need nourishment, direction, and guidance for the soul. Right? That's why I was always a big fan of people. They would say this, how many of you heard the saying soul food? I didn't understand that. I was like, what's up? Is that just black food? But food that nourishes the soul, you see? And this is the food that you're getting here. You see, because in order for you to be productive for others, first you have to see yourself as productivity. Many people have such a low evaluation of self. Note the title of this room: Empower Yourself. Empowerment of yourself. Shabbat shalom to you, Sema. Sema saying, I do that already with 5, 10s, and 20s in $21 bills, especially when you give and just quietly walk away without words. Oh, indeed. Later, please tell about the earth cream. Oh, the Ema earth cream. That's a beautiful cream that's doing great things, hopefully, for all of you that, circulated money and you did receive that. As I did a call out, and the call was met for those that participated and helped the widow and circulated and was a helper with the widow, and you did get some of that cream as well. We met our goal. The goal was met. Specific goal was met, just as needed. And I give thank you to the Hakohim for, enabling us to be participators, to participate in increasing your frequency and your vibration. And you get rewarded for that in many different ways. Not that you expect reward, but you're already flying high. How much higher do you want to go? You're flying high. Now you just have to begin to attract. You have to begin to manifest and bring it into you. You're already flying high. You're high flyers, Mishpachah. Rukashim. Now you must learn the specifics. That's very important. Very, very important. Rabbi Benia says, I am focused. And that's what's needed. And I think that's another synonym for being specific. That's focus, baby. When you're specific about something, don't generalize it. Do not generalize it. Lion Princess, you send me an email with your address. I don't know if you sent the monies my way or not, but if you did, then believe me, I sent it back to you. If you sent monies, like I had that open window. You see, because sometimes doors open and then they close. That open window was for the widow. Now there may be other opportunities in the future, but if you did give for the widow during that time, and what was I think it was over $25. I said if you give over $25, you circulate $25 worth of energy, then that cream will be coming your way. And it has been shipped out. And if you haven't got it, please send me an email. Let me know. Please send us an email to Abrahamic Faith. Send us an email. I'll get it to you. No worries there. You'll get it. Because I'm a man of my word. AbrahamicFaith.info. Abrahamic-faith.info. And I'll get it. No problems doing that. So this is what's important to understand. Just like Rabbi Benia is talking about focus. You see, we must be specific. You must be specific. That's one of the keys to it. You see, Hagee was leaving me with unspecifics. Just give to me, we're going to do this, that. There was no specifics in it. Well, I want to know what I need to do to help change my life. Not to change your life with your 7 acres and 3 houses on them 7 acres and all the land that you have here in San Antonio. I'm happy for you, but what about mine? How do I get that? Give me some specifics on what I need to do. You see, so again, I think that's important to understand. Very, very important. You don't have to sit and watch other people be blessed. You too can have that abundance as well. You don't have to sit and just watch these documentaries about billionaires and millionaires. You too can be a billionaire and millionaire. You too can have that awesome relationship like you see it on Ask the World Terms. You can have that awesome relationship without the drama. You see, you too can have that. That's so very, very important. So very, very important. That's very, very important. Very, very, very important. You need to understand that, Mishpachah. Is that you don't have to be a spectator. You can be in the game, a participator. You can be in the game, Mishpachah. That's so very important. Listen to this quote. I think this is an awesome statement. Before we go into read Leviticus chapter 19, starting verse 16. This is an awesome statement right here. Look at this statement. Listen to this. Knowledge is not what gets us what we want in life. It is putting that knowledge to action. Knowledge is not what gets us what we want in life, but is putting that knowledge into action. Can you get that? A lot of people here in North America, they love to go run after knowledge. They're searching up knowledge up and down. Knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. I'm in a profession that, knowledge is like the pinnacle. Oh, I got this degree, I got this title behind my name, I got this PhD, I specialize in cardiac, this, that, the other, and the third. Knowledge, knowledge, knowledge. But that's not it. You miss it when you think it's just all about getting and attaining knowledge. It is putting that knowledge into action. This is why Israel is so awesome. Because Israel is just about action. That's what attracted the universes to Israel. Think about it. Because Israel didn't understand, but we'll do it. Think about it. Isn't that what went on? Oh, hey, listen. You say, we do. We do, you say. We're action people. Let's just take action. Even though we may stumble and fumble, we may fall, we're going to fall taking action. In our falling, we're going to rise even higher. Kedoshim. You're flying high already, Mishpachah. Always remember that. You're flying high already. Don't see yourself, low riders. No, you're flying high. You're flying high. And whatever situation you may be going through right now, don't worry about it. You're flying high. You're going to come out on top. But you just must remember, keep applying action. Those that were great experience are those that went through many different actions and realized which actions work. And then all they do is just replicate the right actions. This is what's wrong with religion. Religions are very specific. Very specific with religions. They say, okay, say these Hail Marys, these full of grace, let's do this, this, that. They're very specific. Because their knowledge is wrong. It's specific with the wrong information. Goes back to who you listen to. They're specific with the wrong information. And so they focus so much on the specificity of what they're talking about. The willingness to be able to accept change. See, it's hard for them to change. Some of you have family members, friends, and loved ones that just like that today. It's because they've been so conditioned. And, no, they can't change now. Changing for them, that's like, death. They can't change. They're going to take what they know and what they've been conditioned, and they take that to the grave. They're not willing to accept and be able to change. They're pliable. Rabbi Benir says, applied knowledge. Another I am Hebrew Israelite man of action. There you go. Action. But it has to be a specific type of action. Because there's a lot of Israelites, and you'll see them, they're all on YouTube, that are applying wrong specific action. You see? Wrong specific. The specific action is wrong. This is why it's important on who you listen to. I really love that statement. Knowledge is not what gets us what we want in life. That's another important question that we all need to be asking ourselves daily. And we should be if we're journaling. We have our vision boards up on the walls, our dream boards up. You already know what you want in this life. You should. And if you don't, then you need to get on the ball and figure it out for yourself, because you want to empower yourself. Well, how can you empower yourself when you don't know what the heck you want in life? See, that's the biggest thing that most people get wrong, is that they don't know what they want. The Master Yeshua, he would ask people, hey, what do you want? What do you want? Oh, do you want to see? You want to hear? What do you want? You want to be healed? What do you want? I ask you the same question this day. What do you want? You may have to take some time for this. This is not none of that keyboard warrior stuff. Oh, let me just text this. Let me just type this in because this just sounds lovely. I'm just going to type this in. Oh, this gives me goosebumps. No, what do you really want, Mishpahah? You have to begin to focus on yourself. Imam told me something this morning that is so important. Revelation to me. And it's this. Yes, you have found the truth. You have found the facts. How many of you are with me there? You understand that you have found the truth. You were seeking and seeking and seeking, and now you have found the truth. How many of you are right with me on that? You know that you have found the truth. You found the truth. And Muhammad said, yes, you have found the truth. Now, do you know what's important now? Stop for your responses, by the way. But do you know what's important now? Now, look what Muhammad said. And Mother Wisdom, she said, now it's time for you to find yourself. That was heavy, huh? That was heavy. I got that this morning. Oh, yeah. You have found the truth. Truth is at your doorsteps. But now you must find yourself. Mishpah, do you hear that? You must find yourself. Not superficial self, not the self that you put up for the job, not the self that you put up for the neighbor, not the self that you put up for the wife, not the self that you put up for the friends. No, you must find yourself. You must find yourself, Mishpah. Woo! That was heavy this morning. That was heavy. Hey, thank you, Mother Wisdom. Thank you, Universal. I tell you, telling you, man, this is the kind of stuff that goes on when you're plugged in. And I like to keep myself plugged in to the universes. I like to keep myself plugged into God. Tell me what I need to do. Show me, you see. Yeah, you found the facts. You found the truth. Baruch Hashem for the hidden truth he breaks scrolls. Baruch Hashem for the Abrahamic faith. Nixon study scriptures, right? Rabbi Zechariah, you have found the facts. You're there. Facts are at your footsteps. The truth is staring you in the face. Now it's time for you to find yourself. Let's look at it. We've been told this in our books throughout our history. Let's look at it. Let's go back to our Leviticus chapter 19. What a great chapter Leviticus chapter 19 is. Now, as I was reading this, another thing came to my mind. Another thought came to my mind. How many of you are thinkers? If you're a thinker, put up a capital T. Another thought, because I'm always thinking. I want new thoughts. I want new ideas. I want new desires. So I'm always thinking. I'm always putting myself in thinking mode. Remember your teacher used to tell you, hey, put on that thinking cap. How many remember that? Okay, children, it's time to put on your thinking cap. Okay, so yeah. I'm always thinking. And I was like, I was reading this chapter 19 of Leviticus. Now, how many of you understand? Israelites, we are inheritors of real estate. You all understand that, Israelites? I'm talking to the Israelites. The Kohanim, you off to the side on this one. But the Israelites, do you understand you are inheritors of real estate? How many understand that? Okay, you understand that you're inheritors of real estate, right? Now, before you inherited that real estate, that means that somebody else had to have that real estate. Am I correct? Somebody, but you inherited but somebody had it before you. I hope you all understand that, Israelites. Somebody had this land before you did. And somebody else was inhabiting that land. You see, we just so happened, now the land was given to us as inheritors forever. Unlimited. Can't take it back. Yeah, other people live in there now. But does that mean that it's not our land anymore? Just because somebody else living there? You may have 2 or 3 houses. You own 2 or 3 houses, but you may not live in every one of them. You may be renting 2 of them out. So right now, we're just renting our land out, right? It should be rented out, right? That's just what's really basically going on. But before all that, somebody else, can anybody tell me some of the names of the people that was living in that land before us? Anybody? Anybody know some of the former owners of our land that used to be their land, and then we took it? Because as I was reading Leviticus chapter 19, thank you, took off of that, Mishpah. You guys are clued up. The Canaanites, right? Now, as I was reading chapter 19 of Leviticus, I was like, wow, these people were some bad people. They did a lot of bad things because, you know, you can infer and you can read into why the God of Israel gave us this land is because the people that was in this land was doing everything polar opposite to what we're told in chapter 19 to do. So they were doing just the opposite. You see, because again, the universe is very specific, right? What you're seeing in Leviticus chapter 19 is specifics on how to do what? Specifics about relationships and how to get on with one another as human beings. Foreigners, strangers, brothers, sisters. Are you with me, Mishpah? So when you read what we're told not to do, I can infer that this is just what the Canaanites were doing. How many of you understand what I'm saying? How many of you, we're kind of on the same wavelength? Our frequencies are, we're locked in with our frequencies here. You understand what I'm saying? See, these people that were in the land before they were doing some bad things. They were doing everything that Leviticus chapter 19 told us not to do. This is why the universes, the God of Israel said, okay, let's be specific here. This is how you're going to treat the foreigner. This is how you're going to treat your brother. Let's read it. Let's look at Leviticus chapter 19, and we'll begin reading at verse 16. You shall not go up, look, listen to this. You shall not go up and down as a slanderer among your people. Neither shall you stand against the blood of your neighbor. I am Yahweh. Look at verse 17. You shall not hate your brother in your heart. You shall rebuke your neighbor and not suffer the sin upon yourself for his sake. Look at verse 18. I want to highlight this one. You shall not avenge nor bear any grudge against the children of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am Yahweh. Now, how many times have you heard that statement? The Master Yeshua mentioned this statement as well. Because, again, this totally lines up with what he always said. What does the laws of Moses say? Let's take it back to the laws of Moses. And you know, I just bumped across this author this week. This Christian author. And he authored some books. He's this so-called, you're going to find this interesting. I'm going to send you his link in a minute. I'll send you his link later on today. But what he did was he was telling the media, I don't know if you may have heard this already, but he wrote commentary on the book of Genesis and the book of Exodus. And he basically, what he was saying was, look, we got to take the laws of Moses, and this is what we should be following. Christian man was saying that, hey, this is what we should be following. This is our blueprint for humanity. He said, but what the problem is that a lot of people don't understand, what the laws of Moses really say. Don't understand Genesis. They don't understand the book of Exodus. They don't understand it. So what he did, he said, well, I took it and I translated it, and I studied the Hebrew and blah, 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 and I've been studying it for years, and I took it and I translated it into practical terms. So I ordered his books. They're on Amazon. I ordered his books. Let me order his books, see what this guy is talking about. So this guy is talking. Let's see what kind of understanding that he has. But I tell you what, I was like, man, I'm truly grateful for this man, because he may be the avenue, a little bridge that will help the Christians come back to the laws of Moses. Because he was saying, that's where it's at. He said, he said, I need to put it in words, and I had to word it to where it was practical. So it's practical so people could understand. I was like, wow, that's good stuff. That's great. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear somebody is understanding that we must get back to the laws of Moses. Now, let's go back to Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18 again. You shall not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of your people, but you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am Yahweh. How many of you have heard that love your neighbor as yourself? How many of you have heard that statement in religion before? Is it new to anybody? Yourself, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. But here's the kicker. This is where we're going to get deeper with that verse. With that awesome, powerful passage. Is love your neighbor, right? As you love yourself. But look, I want to put the focus on yourself. You see, because that's what the Master Yeshua, and do you think all these teachings that you're getting out from the Kohen, that's focusing on yourself? That's why the Hardback told me, oh yeah, you found the truth. Now it's time for you to find yourself. What can we replace yourself with? Is it that external self, that self that... No, we're talking about yourself, your subconscious, your consciousness. You have to get back to consciousness, Mishpah. I hope you all see this. So before you can love your neighbor, you must first love yourself. This is why we're going back to the conscious way. You got to. You got to become from unconscious to conscious. Truly, Mishpah. I'm telling you, this is heavy stuff here. This is heavy stuff here, Mishpah. So before you love your neighbor, which is the focus, you got to be able to love your neighbor. And do you wonder why so many so-called religious people out here that know this verse up and down, but they run around here hating people for whatever wrong reason? Color of your skin, socioeconomic status, color of your hair, texture of your hair, just to hate, to bring hatred. Words that you said to them doesn't matter. Love your neighbor as yourself. That self is your I am. And then look what follows that in Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18. I am Yahweh. Pointing you right back to your I am. Self is I am. You see? So a lot of you now, for the first time, are really learning how to love yourself. Your I am. You're coming back to that I am. Before you had no clue. Your love was unconscious love. But now you're in conscious love. How many... Do you understand what I'm saying here? This is why it's so important. It's pivotal. It's pivotal, Mishpah. It's pivotal. Your message says the ending of that verse is not in the KJV, in the King James Version. See, this is why the Abrahamic faith, the Exarm study scriptures are so important. This is why the hidden truth Hebraic scrolls are so important for you to get the specifics. Not leaving nothing out, but we're going to clarify. We're going to narrow it down. Do you understand why specifics are important now? Your message out? My goodness. Specifics are so vital. They're vital to your very livelihood. I want the specifics. Growing up, my father would tell me. He would give me things that I had to do, right? How many of you had chores in the house? I had chores in the house, and I wasn't getting paid for my chores like most people are doing today. Some people, hey, that's great. Little Kefa come up. Well, his name is actually Nachshon, by the way. That's his name, Mishpah. My son's name is Nachshon. So when Nachshon comes up and he does chores, of course I'm going to award him. Hey, this is what you get for doing the specific. Do you see it? That's how I'm raising my son. Well, at the time when I came, my father was like, you're already getting paid. You have food, clothing, and shelter. Which was true. He made a point, right? Start off with that point. But in giving me the chores, my father would tell me to do things a certain way. And I had to make sure I did those things in that certain way. And if I didn't understand, I would always go back to the specifics. Hey, Pop, could you please clarify what you just said? Because I want to make sure I get this right. You told me if I fold the clothes, if I do the dishes, if I sweep the floor, then I can go outside. Am I correct? You see? Am I correct? So I would always go back for clarity. I always want to make sure that I had it right, you see. I didn't want to not get... my father was big on specifics. How many of you understand? The world, the universe is big on specifics. How many of you were ever in the military? In any kind of military way, shape, form, or fashion? You will understand. In the military, they're very specific. Am I right? You're going to have to do things a certain way, and then you're going to repeat doing those things a certain way to where they become habitual. It becomes like a habit to you. You can do that stuff in your sleep. How many of you know what I'm talking about? Specifics. And that's what makes a great military. It's because they're specific, and they're trained in a certain way because of repetition. Repetition is important. We talked about repetition. And they do things in a specific way, you see. Rabbi Brit says, simplified. Just visited where I went to boot camp this week. Brilliant. That's great. I tell you what, that military training sure did mature me, because I sure did need it. Because I was one of them youngsters that was thinking with the wrong head. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. But as soon as I got into boot camp, my goodness, reality slapped me in the face. Literally. Reality slapped me in the face, and I grew up quick. And I learned so much. I'm so grateful for my military experience, because it helped me become a better man, and it kept me out of a lot of trouble. I can't even imagine the trouble I would have got in without that discipline that I needed. So on your spirit man side, you need that discipline as well. You need the specifics as well. That's so very important. Moses, Musa, he tells us in Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18, to love your neighbor as you love yourself. Some of you are just now beginning to understand that. And this is just with little kicks and giggles. But look at Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18 again. See where it says at the beginning, you shall not avenge. Now, I'm a big Marvel fan, so this is a little laughing moment, a little jokey joke here, a little laughing moment. I'm a big Marvel fan, and you know I like the Avengers, but where are the Avengers today? You shall not avenge. Anybody tell me what happened to the Avengers? I'm not trying to be the spoiler, but you see what happened when you avenge? That was the wrong name they gave that group. They shouldn't have been called the Avengers. But again, do you see what I mean there? You shall not avenge. You see, because avenging will end up getting you what? Annihilated. Your purpose is not to avenge. Yet, you see, I guess nobody got that joke. How many of you watch the Avengers? Avenger movies? Any Marvel fans in the house? Put up capital M if that's you. You're a Marvel fan, love Captain America, or, you know, anybody Marvel fans? Must be just me then. Well, anyway, yeah, for you Marvel fans, so you see, what was the name of the Avengers, right? Weren't they called the Avengers? So do you see it? What do you get for avenging? You find yourself annihilated, wiped out. Yeah, there you go. You find yourself at the end game. I don't want to come to the end of the game. No. So quit avenging. Yet you see on YouTube, time and time, oh, Hebrew Israelites, we must take up arms. We must avenge our brothers. We must fight the system, blah, blah, blah. No. Stay away from those groups. This is a warning for all of you who are truth seekers and you desire to really have a sincerity to know what the truth is. Stay away from these groups on YouTube that are telling you to pick up arms, to go against the system. That's totally opposite, polar opposite with the laws of Moses, what Moshe is telling us here, right here in this verse. Leviticus chapter 19 here, in our verse 18, to love your neighbor as yourself. You see, but you know what the problem is that most people, they have no clue about their conscious I am within them, you see. So they don't love themselves because they don't know self. They're still unconscious. And Mishpah, I submit to you today that the majority of folks here in North America, if I could put a percentage on it, it's in the 90 percentile. 90% of the people here in America do not know themselves to even love themselves. Think about that. They don't know the I am that's within them. They have no clue. You think about this for a minute. This is heavy stuff. This is heavy stuff. Wow. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. They try to love their neighbor, but it comes out wrong because, again, the fruits of their labor is not that of even loving their neighbor because they don't even know themselves. They don't even love them. They have no clue. They're operating their unconscious. So their love turns out to be hatred. What are we told in our books? Gossip. What are we told in our books? Slander. All of these negative forces, negative energy. This is a true test for all of you in this room and listening via YouTube. Physical presentation. Physical manifestation of the people. This will show you how in tune you are with your I am. I am would never be judgmental of people, running them under the bus, speaking against them because they totally don't agree with what you agree with. Just showing hatred and animosity in any kind of way. Your desire for every human being on the face of this earth is for them to succeed. You heard it from my quick lecture. It's for them to be successful at whatever they do, whatever they put their hand to. And if you can be a helper, because that's one of your affirmations, I am a helper. That's powerful. That's empowering yourself right there. I am a helper. Well, no, that's not true. Because then you went out and your action was, you told that man next door to go to hell. What kind of helper are you when you just told your neighbor next door to go to hell? You see? But you see this time and time again every day. See, now you need to go back and check and make sure, well, am I connected to the I am? To my consciousness? Am I even conscious or am I still unconscious over here? Because my physical application, my physical action was not that of helping, but I actually hurt that man using those kind of words, telling that man he's going to go to hell. I tell you, but you know what? That's the state of this world that we live in today. You find many people like that. They're hypocritical with their own self. Love yourself. They're hypocritical of the I am because they're not even connected. And they, you know, in ignorance, they just don't even know that they're not connected to the I am. You see? Their mind is playing a trick on them. And they're actually connected to their emotions. So if they feel good at the moment, then everybody else around them will feel good at that moment. If they don't feel good at that moment and they were treated badly, then guess what? Everybody else around them will be treated badly. You understand? How many of you know what I'm talking about? This is real human nature study information here. I'm telling you, this is where the rubber hits the road. And all of you are connected to individuals and human beings every day of your lives. People are crossing your path. You're attracting certain people to you. Thank you. So I'm actually right now drinking some, guess what kind of tea I'm drinking right now, boy. My wife just brought me this tea right now. This is some bitter gourd tea that I found at the Chinese store. Bitter gourd tea, Mishpah. Yes, they make it. I got some for the Coach, send it his way as well. Bitter gourd tea. Anybody found that in your Chinese store? Go look for it. They have it. Bitter gourd tea. You're going to have to ask them for it because it's going to be written in Chinese language. You ask the lady at the counter, hey, you got any bitter gourd tea? They have it. How many of you have your okra in your refrigerator right now? How many of you have your eggplant in your refrigerator right now? How many have your bitter gourd in your refrigerator right now? Now we're talking. See, it's now. Specific. I didn't say go get no produce. The Kohen didn't say, oh yeah, go to Walmart and get produce. No, he was specific. Add these things to your routine. Put these things in your daily living. Eggplant, bitter gourd, okra. Tara says, I don't like okra, but I'll try it. There you go. You know what? That's better than saying, hell no. I appreciate that. I appreciate your honesty. But you'll find that there's many ways to cook it. You'll come up with some, you know what? Tell yourself you're going to cook it. You're going to cook that okra to where it's going to taste like your favorite thing that you like to eat. Now, you may have to mix some things in with it, mingle it up, disguise the taste. You know, put some, spice it up. I'm going to be like spices, spice it up a certain way. And before you know it, you're not even tasting the okra. It's just there. It's just there looking pretty. So it's specifics that we have to worry about, Mishpachah. It's the specifics that we have to worry about. Specifics. We must be specific. And you must begin to do it now. Now, for those of you who heard the Kohen's lecture about these things, it's going to benefit your life, your health, because that's another one of these things. And I would encourage you all. Here's some I ams for you. Here are some I ams for you. And you say them not only in the morning and evening, but you say them throughout the day. I'm telling you. You want to get to know yourself? You want to get to know that I am? You got to connect with it. Because your mind, how many of you have experiences? Because I just want to make sure that I'm just not whistling Dixie here. Your mind will tell you this. Oh, look, this is insider information for all of you okra triers and okra eaters that, you have an issue. Insider information from the Kohen. He's telling you here. Fry it first some in olive oil, and then it will remove the slime. I kind of like the slime myself, the sliminess. I like that. But for those of you who don't like the slime method, fry it first in some olive oil, and it will remove the slime. You see that? Take note, take heed, take it to head, take it to heart, and take it to action. Take it to action. That's very, very important. So here are some I ams for you. I am successful. I'm pretty sure some of you have that on your affirmation list already. You have that in your journal. I am abundant. I know you have that one. I am whole. You see, that's one of the most important ones that I like to say, because that one really keeps me humble and happy. As you walk around and you see people, San Antonio is like the medical hub for all of the medical forces. So when they soldiers coming back from all these wars and they've been blown up by IEDs and things like this, they come here to prosthetic devices, here to San Antonio. So you see a lot of these soldiers walking around with either no arms, one arm, one leg. Some of you may live in these cities like that where you see a lot of veterans coming back. And they have maybe one leg, they're in a wheelchair, or, something on them is missing, a limb, an extremity. This is why I am so grateful and thankful that I am whole, that I am complete. I have all my facilities. My wife made a joke the other day. She was talking about, we have to make sure when they do the sonogram again that our child has 5 fingers and not 7 and 8. I thought that was kind of funny. Well, I was like, if that's the case, then maybe some ET is up in there and not some Rabbi Kefa. So it's very, very important that we give thanks and be grateful that we have all of our facilities. I mean, that right there is a great reason why we need to show and give gratitude to the universe, to God, that you have your facilities. Because there are some people that can't get out of bed. There are some people that cannot walk without assistance. There are some people that cannot eat without being assisted. There are some people that can't take anything by mouth and have to be fed through a tube in their stomach. Do you understand? Gratitude is key. need we stress that even more, to show and give thanks always for what you have and where you are. Because it can always be worse. You can always find yourself in a worse situation. So this is why I like to say, I am whole. And I thank you for the universal. That I am whole. You see, thank you to the universe. So I say, I am whole. Then I say, I am healthy. I am happy. I am joyous. I am wealthy. I am full. I am riches. And then Hakoi's, I like to use Hakoi's that he always says when I listen to his affirmations that I have recorded on my MP3 player is I am enough. I have always been enough, and I will always be enough. You begin to say these things daily, and they'll become a part of you. And throughout your day as well, they'll really assist you and help you on your road to success. And however you see success, you may see success different than I see success. You may see relationship different than I see relationship. But whatever, at the end of the day, that makes you happy, that gives you joy, that where you find your peace, you want to find that shalom. Shalom is just not a word here, Mishpahah. I mean, the Jews, the converts out there, they may use it just as a word, a catchphrase. But for us, the children of the books, it's even more than that. Shalom is a peace of mind. It's a way of life. It's a way we live. We don't discriminate. Because if the Jews here in San Antonio had shalom, then they would have let me into their synagogues. They didn't let me in. So where's their shalom? You see? It's a bunch of hot air, Mishpahah. I was given hot air. Oh, yeah, the trash is in the back. I was like, what do you mean the trash is in the back? No, I come here to serve Hashem. To give thanks and be grateful and to serve Hashem. Oh, no. You're not welcome here. You're not wanted here. You're not needed here. So you understand. So it's very, very important that we do understand that, Mishpahah. Is that we are shalom. You are peace. But you just can't say you peace. You must demonstrate peace. You must act out peace. You can't say you just love. You must demonstrate love. You must act out love. Gratitude. Thanks. I am whole. That's another good one that you may want to add to your affirmations. I am health. We talked about that one today already. So these are the keys. As we go back to the books of Moses, as we open up the laws of Moses here, as we open up our way of life that we have held to for generations and generations and generations, and as we look at the fact that we are children of the contracts, that we have a contract, we have a covenant with the creator of the heavens and the universes, as we call whatever you want to call it. Someone phoned into us this week, and he was like, hey, and we've been getting a lot of phone calls lately about people just complaining of this fact. Yeah, I just want to get a Bible that does not have God and Lord and Jesus there. And you see, because the name is important. Oh, my goodness. We had several of these calls this week. So, you've got to retrain these people and get their mindset out. No, it's not so much in the name, but it's your action to the name. Don't get caught up on the name, because then you're going to miss the name altogether. You're not going to be known. Okay, I can say Bill Gates right now. I can say Donald Trump. I know his name. I know Donald Trump's name. I know Bill Gates' name. But have I been to Donald Trump's house? No. Have I ever been to Bill Gates' house? No. I've never been to their house. So if I go knock on their door, yeah, Bill, are you home, Bill? Bill Gates? Yeah. He's going to open the door and say, I don't know you. Who are you? I know you. You're Bill Gates. I see you on TV. No, he's going to say, well, I don't know you, sir. You shouldn't even be here. Security. And then I'm probably going to jail. You see? For trespassing. So again, name is not important. How many of you are still dealing with people that's caught up on the name? Oh, what's the name of God? What is the name? Oh, I can only just say this name, or I'm going to hell, and blah. Anybody still dealing with people like that? You might want to give them a little analogy like that. It's not. It's your action to the name that's going to recognize you. That's how you're going to be known of the name. Are you doing what the name said do? You see? Specifics. Remember we talked about that, Mishpahah? How many of you want to be specific? Or you just want the generalities? I can tell you generalities in 5 minutes and we're done. In general, go out, love everybody, and be happy. Bye-bye, and then that's it. No, but you sit here because you want specifics. Well, Rabbi, you're saying that I'm a transmitter and a receiver of frequency, of energy. I am atoms. I'm made up of atoms. Everything on this planet is made up of atoms. Money made up of atoms. Trees made up of atoms. You see? Everything is made up of atoms. So how do I fit in? What do I do to attract goodness to me? I want more goodness to me. I want more happiness coming to me. I want more health coming to me. I want wealth. I want prosperity. I want a husband. I want a wife. And whatever it may be that you want, you desire. How do I attract those things to me? You want specifics. You see? Not everybody in this room wants a baby. Some of you're done and dusted with that part. You see, so your dreams and your visions, they're going to be specifically tailored to everybody. You see? I want a baby, and I'm getting a baby, because that's what I wanted. And this is why I ask you, what do you want? You see? You must know what you want. But you really don't know what you want until you connect it with yourself. Anybody tell me what's connected with yourself? What does that mean, self? Anybody have a clue now? What does self mean? When we read that verse that we see, when Moses, when Moshe, when Musa, he wrote that verse, he said, "But you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I am Yahweh." Wow, that's heavy stuff. You shall not avenge. You shall not bear any grudges against the children of your people. But most of the time, we focus our energy on what? Bearing grudges. Avenging. Oh, you did this to me? Oh, I'm going to get back at you. Oh, and I'm going to get you even worse than you did me. Oh, you treated me very bad? I'm going to treat you worse. Fire and brimstone is coming to you, buddy. There's no time for that. That's negative energy. And what are you going to get from that? More negativity. Because you'll probably end up with a criminal record. Behind that foolishness. Holding a grudge. Slandering one another. All these negative things. You look at YouTube and it's chock-a-block full of that drama. We have no time for drama because we're too busy over here dreaming. We're too busy here affirming. We're too busy over here attracting. We're too busy over here manifesting, man. We're too busy over here having a great life. Living a life that's abundant. I always like to ask my wife every day, "Honey, are you happy?" She said, "Honey, I'm very happy. I'm very happy. I need to know these things. Because I want my wife to be happy. I want my daughter to be happy. I want my dog, Pharaoh. He's the happiest dog in the whole of the world." Maybe I'm being a little bit biased there, but he is. He's treated. I can tell you what, actions on the ground show it. Pharaoh has the best care that care can give. For a dog. I want you all to be specific. How many of you have ever heard the phrase, "mind your business"? Anybody heard that phrase before? Mind your business. Mind your business. Anybody heard that? Mind your business. Actually, it's not a negative phrase when you think about it. Think about that phrase for a minute. Mind your business. Mind your business. Where should your mind be? On your business. Now, you say, "Rabbi, I'm not in business." And I submit to you, I would have to respectfully disagree with you if you think like that. Is that you're not in any kind of business. Anybody right now would think that they're not in any kind of business? Because if you're told to mind your business, then what kind of business are you in? Now, I want to ask you, and I want to get your responses here. We're going to get a little bit interactive here for a minute. I want to know, what is your business? What is your business? Yael says we all have personal business. No. I want you to be specific here. I want to know what kind of business are you in?
You see? Because now I want you to begin to start to think, start to really understand yourself. You must, Miss Baha. I'm going to help you. I'm going to be a facilitator for helping you understand yourself. What kind of business are you in? Rabbi Benir says personal development business. Okay. What kind of business? See, you got to know what kind. You got to know what you want. You got to know what you want. Are you in the business of helping people? Are you in the business? You see, you got to know. Now, you may not be able to write anything right now because you don't know, but at least I'm beginning to jog your memory. Serena says, my business is motivating people and loving people. You're in the loving business, great. Business of creating my own life. My own life, great. Yael, woman of the tent. Your business is providing people peace of mind, that's great. What business are you in? What do you want? What do you want out of this life? You see, because what I want you to understand today is this, is that life is unlimited opportunity. Life is unlimited opportunity, Mishpahah. Akari says, my business is to empower people to be successful. Man, that's powerful. And to empower people to be successful. So what does that mean for the son of Aaron, the Kohen? That means he's going to be super successful. Because that energy of empowering people to be successful, then that's only raising him up. Rabbi Benir, you know something about this in your particular field of business. When you help people open up other businesses, what does that do for your business, Rabbi Benir? Please help me out here. All your business model is doing, Rabbi Benir, is practicing the universal principle laws of the universe. As you help other people build up, that's only making you even more successful. Isn't that beautiful? Cha-ching, Rabbi Benir says. Cha-ching. Maybe even some bling-bling in there with the cha-ching. Unlimited opportunity. You have available in this life unlimited opportunity. That's the facts on the ground. Unlimited opportunity. Well, if I'm just given the opportunity, you do have opportunity. It's unlimited. Maybe you think you don't have the opportunity, but the opportunity is there for you to do whatever you want to do. What business you want to, what is your business? People telling you to mind your business. Well, what is your mind should be on your business. Wow, what a compliment. Too busy, we're trying to slander this person. Too busy, we're holding grudges. Too busy, we're avenging, when we should have our mind on our business. All of you are businessmen, businesswomen in this room. Whether you be in business or not, that's irrelevant. You are in a business. Do you have your mind on your business? Probably, most people probably don't. But this is where I want to empower you with this day, is to put your mind on your business. Find out your business plan. What do you want? What do you want your business to do? What do you want it to do? Who are you trying to help? You say you are a helper, but who are you trying to help? How are you going to help them? You see, all of these things is what I want to focus, and I want you to be specific. Are you going to help people? How are you going to help people? You see, you need to be specific. You need to know what you're going to do. You need to know yourself. What do you want? What do you love? Then you can go love your neighbor. This is why you see some of this cockamamie love out here. It's just like, wow, if that's love, then you need to hate me. Because they don't love themselves, you see. They don't love themselves. Simha saying, I am finding out the negatives in my mind that has held me back for my joy, happiness, and marriage, that I deserve to have a partner so we can fulfill to teamwork with the Creator's will for humanity and the universe and the cosmos. I cannot do it by myself. Simha, what a great statement made by you. And I know this comes not from your heart, but from your head. This is coming, from that I am side in you. What great openness, and I thank you for sharing that, because she said something that's very important. She said, I cannot do it by myself. That's so true. My wife has enhanced me tremendously. My desire is that all of you have an awesome wife that meets every one of your needs, every one of your desires that you always dreamed about. Because I have that now. Thank you to the universe. Thank you to the son of Aaron, the Kohen, and the gate. I have that now. I literally have the perfect family. I have the 2.5 children, including the dog. I have a daughter, son on the way, Nakshan, and of course Pharaoh. That's been my dream, Mishpachah. I have it. Wow. I have the perfect family. Well, Rabbi Kefa, I want to have 5 children. Well, then that's your perfect family. I say so be it. Be happy. Be abundant. Be infinitely abundant, because that's what you are. This is why it's important to know that you know that you know what you want. And to know that you know yourself. You see? You have to know yourself. And that's coming from the I am side. Not the unconscious self. You're conscious. Rabbi, you talking all this New Age conscious, blah, blah, blah. This is not New Age. This is old school. Instead of OG, this is OC stuff. This is old consciousness. This is consciousness from the beginnings. This is connected. Truly connected to God, as you may know Him, Lord. Jesus, a divine presence, power above ours, the most high, highest, Elohim, Adonai. This is real. Life, Mishpachah. You all must know your business. You must put your mind on your business. Rabbi Benia said earlier to focus. I tell you today to be specific. Know what you want. Know that you know that you know that you know that you know this is what you want. And then go pursue it. And then take action to get what you want. How do I take action? I gave you some examples today. How to boost your frequency. Go out and be a helper. You have so much opportunity here at Abrahamic Feast to do great things and to amp up your frequency, your vibration, your energy, to be recognized by source energy, by source power. And truly to say you have a relationship, that's beyond that. We're talking about direct connectivity to source energy, to source power. That's beautiful, Mishpachah. This is where it's at. But it's always your desire, your want, your needs. And knowing what you want. And then going out and helping others that maybe need the exact same thing that you need. You're going to help them first, thus your needs are being met. That's beautiful. You're going out and you're producing positive energy to Mother Earth. You're giving positive energy, positive vibration, positive frequency. You're not here contributing to the negative side. Oh, the earth is falling, the earth is falling, the earth is coming to an end, global warming, blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. I'm here today to give you peace, to give you shalom, and to give you solace, and to give you love, and to give you comfort. The earth is not going anywhere, Mishpachah. People are. The earth is going to be here. This same earth that we talk about right now, here in San Antonio, Texas, they're finding dinosaur bones. I'm pretty sure some of your neck of the woods, they're finding dinosaur bones too. The dinosaurs used to walk on this earth. They left. But the earth is still here. Cavemen, they digging them people up. They used to walk on this earth, and guess what? The earth is still here. Come on now. Come on now. Ima. Shabbat shalom to you. So guess what? I can tell you, the earth is not going anywhere, but people might be going places. But the earth will be here. Don't get hoodwinked and bamboozled, and don't get distracted, and don't get stymied by fear. You see, because what happened is on the human side, because you're not connected to the being side, the human side fears certain things. This man came to my house the other day, and he was like, he heard Pharaoh bark. You know, Pharaoh's ABT, that dog, Pharaoh. He heard Pharaoh barking. You know, Pharaoh's big. He's like a horse. He's a rhino whiner. He's a big dog. So he heard Pharaoh barking. He was like, sir, all due respect, I can't come into your house because I'm fearful of dogs. I was like, oh, really? Okay. So I put Pharaoh in the garage, and I began telling him, say, sir, do you know, God has given us dominion over this earth, and we're not to fear anything. You don't have to fear anything. I mean, God has given you such great power where you don't have to fear anything. You don't have to fear. Nothing. You shouldn't even have any fear in you. You've been given dominion. You've been given power over the earth. He was like, wow. You shouldn't have any fear. I say, so whatever you're fearing, put it in your face. And you'll see that you really don't fear it. It's just that your mind is telling you that you fear it, but you really don't. I told him, I said, my dog Pharaoh is the biggest baby in the world. He's just a big baby. He's just a big baby. And you know what? Later on, he let me open the door to the garage. I let Pharaoh out, and him and Pharaoh had a moment together. It was beautiful. So you need to put your fear in your face. Boy, that sounds like a lecture title. Put your fear in your face, and you realize that you don't fear anything. That's for somebody out there that may be running in some kind of fear. Fear of a relationship, fear of money, fear of just falling. Because when you fall, you know the greatest thing about falling is that you can get back up. That's the greatest thing about falling, right? Is that you are able to get back up. And you're able to become even a better success. And you gain such experience from the fall. And you become even more successful. And you learn it and you chalk it up as an experience. What some people may consider a fall, I don't see it as a fall. I just see it as a great experiment, a great opportunity, an experience. Because in this lifetime, you're going to go through experiences. The Master Yeshua, Jesus said, hey, in this world, you're going to have trouble. But what did he say? He said, well, I have overcome trouble. You too. I am. You have overcome trouble. You see, but these are people like this man that came to my house. They're not connected to themselves, to the I. They're not connected. So not being connected, then their mind tell them, oh man, that dog is Cujo. That dog is going to bite me. I'm going to have to go get all these shots and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I watched this movie last night about dogs attacking people. Invasion of the dogs. And so now I'm afraid the dog will go to the house and the dog barking. I come up very afraid. No. Source energy has not given you a spirit of fear. Fear is not your default setting, Mishpahah. Remember back in the garden, what happened to Adam and his wife? As soon as they took from the tree, they went and hid. Why are you hiding? Source energy. Hey. What hiding over there? Well, because I thought he had done lost his disconnect with the I am. Now he's just dealing with the mind. You heard what he said? What did Adam say? I'm paraphrasing. Oh, I thought, see, that's what you get for thinking. Wrong kind of thinking. You see, I want to connect to the I am side, and then thus the excommunication from the garden. And man has been thinking ever since. Thinking and thinking and thinking, but not going back and connecting and using the thought process from the fundamental foundation of the I am side. That's the beauty. When you go back to I am, you're home. Because that's when you use the verse that Moses talks about, Moshe, Musa, that he talks about Leviticus chapter 19, verses 18. But you shall love your neighbor as yourself. I want to focus on the yourself side, because many people don't understand. Many people are too busy doing just what Leviticus chapter 19, verse 18 talks about. They're too busy trying to avenge, trying to hold a grudge, trying to slander, like in verses 16 of Leviticus. All of this negative stuff, the negativity, the stuff that the Canaanites were doing. I'm not a Canaanite. I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn last night, and I don't proclaim to be a Canaanite. That's not my nature. I'm not of Canaanite nature. But do you see, don't look at Canaanite as a color, look at the character. Now, I bet you a lot of you will say, wow, there's a lot of Canaanites living around me. Think about what I just said. There's wisdom in that. Take it and run with that. Everybody trying to look at Canaan by ethnicity. Oh, Canaanites had this, they were this color, they did blah, blah, blah. No. You look at the character. And does that character that of a Canaanite? I guarantee you, then you have a Canaanite staring at you. And by the way, for those of you in the UK, I'd like to congratulate the royal family for the birth of the newborn baby son. What is his name? Forgot. What did they say his name was? Anybody bring it to my attention? What's the little baby's name? Oh, I can't think of his name offhand. Archie. There it goes. The top of that opera hoop. For little baby Archie. And just like you see in that, Archie Harrison. Just like you see in little baby Archie being born of a Caucasian father and a black woman, a brown woman. I mean, who's to say who's a Canaanite, who's this, that, the other, and the third, because we're all mixed with something. There's nobody in this room or on YouTube that's 100% anything. Come on, let's face it. So we need to get past that, and as students of nature, you must begin to look at the character. Now, somebody around you is slandering, is always wanting to avenge somebody, is always holding a grudge against so-and-so, is always spewing out hate and tell you that they hate this person, that person, or the other. Then what do you have in front of you? A Canaanite. There you go. And these were the same people that lost the land that we now inherited forever. Has become part of our inheritance as the children of Israel forever. That's covenant, baby. Ever. So look at the character, Mishpahah, and be specific. Torah spells it out. Moses spells it out as clear as day. This was the behavior of the Canaanites. So the children of Israel, the Hebrews, were told, don't do these things. When you get in the land, don't slander. When you get in the land, don't hold a grudge. When you get in the land, don't be seeking to avenge. Like my Marvel Avengers, who no longer exist anymore. That's where avenging gets you. Don't be an avenger. Be a lover. Be a peacemaker. Be a comforter. This is what you be, because this is what you are. You are. You're I am. So that's important for us to understand going forward, Mishpahah. Truly, it's to be specific. Today, color is of no relevance, Mishpahah, because believe me, I'm having a son. His name is Nakshan. I am a brown-skinned man. My wife is Chinese. But this baby is a Hebrew baby. This is a Hebrew baby. And his name is Nakshan. So you just can't look at color and say, oh, you're a white man. Now, I'm pretty sure Nakshan is probably going to come out. Initially, he'll probably come out looking Caucasian. Like, oh, that's a Caucasian baby over there. No. His daddy is a brown man over there. That's that brown man over there. That's his daddy. So you just can't look at it. I mean, my goodness, you look at Archie, they show pictures of Archie. Archie looked like a little white baby over there, doesn't he? But he's not. His mother's black. His mother's a brown skin. You see? And even his mother herself, her father is a Caucasian man and her mother is a brown skin. The mixing. And yet all these so-called pure people, what do they tell you? Oh, you can't mix, blah, blah, blah. Little do they know in their ignorance that they mix themselves. These are people that don't understand. Have no clue. You know, this commentator I was telling you about, he wrote a book, this author, he wrote a book, this Christian guy, he wrote a book on the Old Testament. He said, I wrote a book on Genesis, I wrote a book on Exodus. He said, I studied for years. And I wrote this book because I wanted to make these books of, Genesis and Exodus, I wanted to make them practical for everybody so they can read it and understand that this is what the creator of the heavens and the universe is intended for all people and how all people are supposed to live. But he said this, and he made this point which kind of perked my attention. He's like, well, nowhere, in these books in Genesis and Exodus, it doesn't mention any color. And anywhere in there, there's no, array of color of a people. Why? Because, of course, we have a better understanding of that. Because, everything was associated by what? By tribe, by who your father was. And we all know that everybody during that time were people of what? People of some kind of, pigmentation, skin tone. They had color to them. People of color. You see? It's when you came outside of that lack of color that you were seen as strange. I.e. who? Noah. You were seen as strange. And people kind of wanted to steer away from you. People maybe thought you was like evil. You had something wrong with you. Or they're trying to kill you so they can take your bones and use them in. That's what they're doing now today in Africa with the albino. They're cutting off their limbs and they're using them in their little, rituals and stuff like that. They need the albino bones. So you have to look at these factors and not look at color. Stop with the color thing, because it's big on YouTube when it comes to the difference between the chosen and the frozen. In passing, I think last night I was watching flipping through some channels. I was watching this. There's this one priest somewhere here in America. Is that he's, I guess Farrakhan, the Nation of Islam, he's been banned from Facebook. So this one priest invited him to his church or something. They call him a radical priest or whatever they call it. So one priest, he invited Farrakhan to come to his church and talk to his congregation. Because this one priest realized that, that a lot of the people of color here in North America hadn't had a fair shake. And I guess he just kind of wanted to get the word out. So this priest had the ability to get onto YouTube, onto Facebook. So they streamed it on Facebook with Farrakhan there, and then, of course, Farrakhan was talking. Farrakhan was like, look, I have nothing against Caucasian people. He was like, I have nothing against Caucasian people. All I wanted to do was to separate the real Jews from the synagogue of Satan. He said that's what I was supposed to do. I found that quite funny. But he said, that's my whole agenda. I just want to show the difference between, who are the real Jews and then those that are of Satan. You see? So, but anyway, you leave them to it. But at the end of the day, you will be known by your actions. That's what's important. Your character makeup. And if you run around here hating, slandering, looking to avenge, then you may want to go back and holding grudges, then you may want to go back and reassess. Are you really connected to yourself? Because we're told in our books that you will love your neighbor as you love yourself. A true characteristic of a person following the laws of Moses, a student of the laws of Moses, those that have embraced and accepted and adapted the laws of Moses into their daily living. This is why all are welcome Anybody new, first, second time in this room, please acknowledge yourself. All are welcome here. You can come to this room, doors are open, there's none of this blah, 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 you're going to get, oh, if you say the name this, if you say this, Lord, if you say God, we're going to kick you out. If you don't say his name, it's Yeshua, Yahusaki, then you have to go, blah, blah, blah. If you're new to the room, we not like to acknowledge you. You're welcome to the room. It's just an open door. We're human beings. We're all trying to connect to source energy. Just many are giving out the wrong specifics on how to get there. But here, you get the specifics. And just like we learned from homeless to billionaire, if you don't believe the proof is in the pudding, then prove it. Follow these steps and prove it for yourself and see if it doesn't work in your life. Follow these specifics. Follow it to a T, see if it doesn't work. Prove it. I mean, what do you have to lose? You do. You have nothing to lose. Prove it. Quit sitting there slandering other people, running people under the bus, avenging because you felt you was wrong, but take this information, put it to the test and prove it. Apparently other things haven't been working because you're still searching on YouTube for truth. So you say, for the facts. And you're still searching and searching and searching. Well, when are you going to quit playing that same old record and put the perfect law to the test and prove it? Prove it. You'll be the better man and the better woman for at least putting it to the test and proving it. Follow it specifically. Follow the specifics and prove it. Stay here. Stay at the feet of the Kohen and learn. Learn so that you can listen, then learn, and then go out and act. You follow that model, you will not go wrong. Listen, learn the specifics, and then go out and act. Take action on those specifics. And I guarantee you won't go wrong. You won't go wrong. You follow that in that order. But as long as you keep slandering, hurting the grudge, all this southern energy, you're never going to get anywhere in this life. Not anywhere where you want to be. So on that note, I'll wrap it up for the Shabbat. I want to tell you just to stay specific. Keep it specific. Know your business. Some of you couldn't respond today. Maybe you just didn't want to. And that's okay. When I asked about what is your business, you need to think about that. What is your business? What business are you in? Because you are in some kind of business. And you mind your business. Think about, what I'm thinking in my mind, what is my business? Because you do need to have some business. You do need to be about the business. Your business. Not somebody else's business. You need to be about your business. That's important. But you got to know what you want. You got to know what your business is. And then go out and pursue it like you never pursued nothing in your life before. Because that's when you're going to be happy. Because you're going to be doing what you want to do. That's what you're going to find your happiness. You're going to find your peace there. You're going to find your joy there. You're not doing what somebody else is doing. You're doing what you want. That's when you're going to find happiness. You know why many people don't have happiness? It's because they're doing what somebody else is doing. They're not truly doing what they want to do. They're not even connected to themselves, so they don't even know what they want. They don't even know their business. Well, I'm just going to do that because he's doing it, and he made a lot of money. I'm going to do that because he's doing it, and they look very happy. No, but what makes you happy? See, that's the thing. So take the time. Take all the time you need. Take all the time that you need. Serenity has a good question. When you are in business, how do you market yourself? Oh, that's an easy one. For me, it's easy. It depends on what kind of business you're in. I know some people in this room that are in business, they'll tell you as well. If you're in a business, how do you market yourself? Give of yourself. Give of your business, and it'll come back to you. Depending on what kind of business you're in, Serenity, give of that business. Sometimes you got to give it for free. Give of the business, and it'll come back to you. You see, our Kohen made a telling instruction the other day, a couple of Shabbats ago. He talked about, well, if people are so hell-bent that their product will work, then they give it to you for free, and then when you make money off of their product, then you pay them the necessary money. You see, but a lot of people are not like that. They don't even believe in their own product. You see? So they don't even have the faith in their own product that they're trying to sell you and telling you that it's going to work. You know what I mean? So when you have something that works, go out and give it out for free. If I don't know what your niche is, if your niche is in the physical exercise or health, wealth, speaking, public speaking. It's depending on what your niche is, where you're at, what makes you happy. I love what I'm doing. I'm a pediatric nurse. I love babies. I love taking care of babies. I love the hands-on, the touchy-feely. I love being be able to heal by touch. I love the positivity. Be able to go in a room and just totally change it. Where there's all death and destruction, and you go in and you bring in, you empower the room with life and love and peace and happiness and joy and laughter. Man, I love that. And surprise, surprise, I get paid for that. Brilliant. That's a win-win for me. But I love changing dirty diapers. Not many people can say that. I love doing that. I love providing a service for other people, where other people are dependent upon me. These little children, these little babies, they're dependent upon me for their every need, and I like that kind of responsibility. It makes me super happy. Wow, I tell you, that just does something to me, and I get excited about that. Now, that may not be you. I have friends, man, they got into nursing, and they realized that they had to change diapers, and they left nursing. It's been about 4 or 5 years in college to get a nursing degree, and then they realized, I don't like changing diapers. I don't like cleaning and emptying bedpans. I don't like washing somebody else's butt. You see what I mean? I don't want you to have to go through all of that drama, all of that education and that knowledge, and then when it comes to you applying action, and you realize, that's not for me. You understand what I'm saying? This is why you have to know yourself. You have to know what you want. You must know that, Mishpah. I'm going to read that statement again. Knowledge is not what gets us what we want in this life. It's putting that knowledge into action. When my friends had to put that knowledge into action after coming out of school, with their nursing titles and all that, and they had to put that into action, they realized, man, I'm not trying to change, believe me, changing a baby's diaper, changing an adult's diaper, that's action. You have to apply yourself. And it's going to smell bad, it's not going to look good, and it may be a little bit of work, because these people some of these people are heavy, and you got to move them around, and you realize, once I get into the action, this is just not for me, I don't like this. So this is why we want to hone in on today, finding out about yourself, the I am side. What do you like? What do you love? What makes you happy? What brings you joy? What gives you peace? That's where you need to be. You need to find that place. And all of you are in some business. And if you're not, then you are birthing a business now. You are. You all are in some way, shape, form, or fashion in some kind of business. How are you managing your business? This is what we want to help you with today. Is that you got to manage yourself first to manage your business. You got to know what you want. You got to have your business plan. And that's what's key. So on that note, we'll wrap it up here for another Shabbat. I wish my desires for all of you to have a prosperous and an awesome week of just manifesting and attracting all of the desires that you desire for yourself, for your family, for your friends, for your loved ones, and to truly have that peace, that love, that joy about you. That's the default setting, Mr. Hart. That's who you are. Your peace, your love. You are peace. Say it. I am love. I am peace. I am joy. I am happy, and I am helpful. And go out and be helpful. Go out and be love. Go out and do peace. That's real. Not many people want to hear this kind of understanding. They want to hear all of this theology that's getting you nowhere. All that knowledge. Remember we talked about knowledge? Knowledge is nothing if you cannot take theology and put it into action. Theology can't put it into action. It's just a bunch of lip service, mumbo jumbo, opinions of men. There's nothing connected to it. It's emptiness. Some of you been there. Oh, yeah. You all know the story of my father. I told you his story, right? He went into theology, and what he ended up doing, he went to the pre-seminary and he hopped the fence when he realized that you can't make love. I wouldn't be here if my father didn't realize that he couldn't make love. So he went to be a priest because he didn't want to pick cotton in the cotton field in Louisiana. Easy way out was to go to seminary school. He went there, realized that he couldn't make love, so my father literally hopped the fence and came back down south to Louisiana. And he was quite happy to pick cotton after that. so helped grandmother out in the field. He was quite happy to pick some cotton then. He had no issue picking cotton. So without my father doing that, I wouldn't be here, Miss Bahar. See, that's what theology gets you. Do like my father. Hop the fence. Shabbat shalom to all of you, Miss Bahar. Have a great week ahead.
Okay, yeah, Todah for that, Kefa. And I've just posted a new affirmation for you that I want you all to put into your list for daily reading and visualizing on. Money loves me, and lots of money is now rushing into my life in an overflowing abundance. I am a powerful magnet of prosperity, happiness, and abundance. Again, money loves me, and lots of money is now rushing into my life in an overflowing abundance. I am a powerful magnet of prosperity, happiness, and abundance. Money loves me, and lots of money is now rushing into my life in an overflowing abundance. I am a powerful magnet of prosperity, happiness, and abundance. Make that a statement in your statements to make sure that you concentrate on it daily. Now, those of you who are into business, like a question that was asked by Serenity, maybe the best thing to do is to take it offline and come back with that question offline. Could give you a better guidance offline, because without having some further information, can't really kind of give you correct guidance on it straight off the bat. But the usual mumbo jumbo advice that people give you, oh, you got to go to this market and that market, it's all mumbo jumbo. Okay, I've been to business school, I've got my business degrees, and that doesn't work. So I will give you the real business advice behind the scenes, but not in the public face, because each person's business is different, as Rabbi Kefa was saying. So we got to deal with it differently. However, the fundamental advice is the same, and so that you will realize after you get the advice. Eddie is asking, Hakohin, how can we practice discipline, especially waking up early and consistently? My goodness, you got to, I remember from the Taekwondo days, you're correct, Eddie, it's going to be a little difficult. I remember from my Taekwondo days, when I set myself to something, I just set myself and I forget it. I was here in America, I was waking up at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Those were kind of my wake up times, different days of the week. And then I just switched it to, I said I'm going to wake up 4:45 every day. And that was it. Once I said it, that's it. It hasn't changed since. So it does take a lot of discipline. The best thing to do is, problem is that you got to know, first of all, you got to know is what you want to be. In other words, if you tell yourself that this is going to radically change my life, and this is going to make my life much better, then you can commit to that discipline. If, for instance, you do not commit to the discipline, the only way you don't commit to it is if you are not affirmative in the action thereof. In other words, if you knew the end result was going to be poor, you wouldn't want to commit to any discipline. So the first and foremost thing you got to say to yourself is, this is going to radically change my life. My life is going to be polar opposite to where it is now. I'm going to be a much better person. I'm going to be abundant. I'm going to be happy. I'm going to be healthy. When you tell yourself that, then it'll make it a little bit easier. As Rabbi Kefa said, you got to go to bed early. Of course, that's one of the traits. But I will tell you this much, that I could go to bed at 11, 12, 1, I'll still be up at 4:45. But that's just me. But that doesn't happen with everybody. Some of you may get difficult because if you sleep at 9 o'clock, you still may find it difficult to get up at 4:45. You may find it extremely hard because you're used to sleeping in till maybe 5, maybe 6, maybe 7, depending on what time you go to work. Some people go to work at 9, so they get up at 7 o'clock or 7:30. So Eddie, you must tell yourself that this is going to change your life. That's the first thing you got to tell yourself. This is going to radically change my life. Now what I would want you to do is this. You may have to put an affirmation, a programmatic affirmation, invocation, I'll call it, an invocation. An invocation will be to the effect of, it will not be an affirmation, it'll be an invocation. It will be to the effect of that I can, and I will, and I am able to get up daily at whatever time you state. So I can, I will, and I am able to get up daily at 5 o'clock in the morning. I can, and I will, and I am able to get up daily at 5 o'clock in the morning. And that you program into yourself. Once you program that into yourself daily by speaking it, then your mind will get into that program. Your mind will take that information. It might reject it the first few times, but as you speak more into your mind, it will take that information and it will program it. And you're going to find that clock on without even the alarm going off, you're going to be up. Your mind is going to be responsible to wake you up at that time. Your subconscious is going to just boom, wake you up at that time and say, time to get up. And you're going to open your eyes and say, oh, it's already 4:45 or 5 o'clock. I've got to get up. So you have to program yourself. That's what will help you to get up on time and to sleep on time as well. Now, having said that, I wanted to talk a little bit about it was about there was something that I was going to say. Yes, the something is this, is that we spoke about the fact that you can have whatever you desire. However, it's important to put some discipline around it. And Rabbi Kefa spoke about saying that success, and if you have a product, you can give it free, etc. I am willing to make this statement, and I don't think anybody is able to make such a statement. Maybe somebody can, but all these so-called gurus out there, they don't make this statement. But I'll make this statement. I can take a man. I don't care what age he is. I don't care if he's 5 years old, a baby. I don't care if he's 50 years old. I can take a man or a woman, and I can transform their life completely. And I can make them successful. I don't care what age they are. And I did that. I already did that. I already have the t-shirt for it. Years ago, 20 years ago, about 25 years ago, I went to my auntie. And, at the time, I was, in the process of me becoming successful. And I became successful. And I made a sweeping statement in my family. I said, I can take anybody in the family, and I don't care what your education background, I will make you successful. Without cost. To me or to them. Well, they may have to incur cost, but I said, I won't charge you nothing. And so then my auntie said to me one day, she said to me, take your cousin, this is your brother, and I want you to help him succeed. And she said, whatever you tell him, he shall do. From now on, from today, he is yours to command what to do. And I said, okay, done. I said, I will do it. So I got him. His name was Cam. I got him. I said, Cam, this is what you're going to do. He was studying electronics engineering degree. I said, you're going to drop electronics engineering degree. I said, you're going to go into BIT, Business Information Technology instead. I said, this year at the end of your semester, you're quitting JAX. You're saying to your tutor, sorry, I'm not going for the next year, second year. I'm out. I'm now going for the second year instead into BIT, which was Business Information Technology in that university in England. And he said, okay. He listened to me. He did that. I said, next. So I guided him. I said, next, this is what you need to do. Now, this is what you need to do. So he was kind of listening to me and doing exactly what I was telling him. He was a young guy. He was doing what I was telling him. Then one day he did his second year. He was about to enroll into the third. He came back to me. He said, he called me brother. He said, big brother, what shall I do now? I said, okay, this is what you're going to do now. You're going to go to such and such person. You're going to give my name, and you're going to say such and such thing. And this is what you're going to do. You're going to say that you want to go into work experience with them. And you're going to learn the computers of the school over there. And then I will guarantee you this, that they will offer you a job within 3 months. How can somebody say that? Listen, no one can say that, but I said it. Because I didn't just say it, I acted on it. Because I then sit at the back and I do the prayer. And I do my necessary, and I said, you're going to have that job. And so he goes over there, he speaks a woman's name was Susan, and he tells Susan that so-and-so person sent me, and I wish to have such and such role. And she said, okay, come and see me on such and such day, and I will line you up, and you will have this position for the summer vacation. So he goes there, he does that, and the summer vacation is not over yet. It was still vacation time. 2 months into the role, a job comes up. Now tell me, what are the chances of this happening? Because I made it happen. Job comes up and they offer Cam the permanent position. And he gets the job. It is now 20 plus years. This man is still working at the same university today. And of course his salary's gone up. He's got, a good salary. He is their engineer. He is their computer engineer now today. He manages their systems. And, his mother was so thankful to me that I did that. And everybody, it set an example in my family that Simon Altaf is someone to be reckoned with. What he says comes to pass. I proved it in my family, not once, at least 2, 3, 4, 5 times. I took two of my nephews. I said, you both are going to become engineers. And they were like, okay. And guess what? Both of those little guys, I saw them as 5, 6-year-olds. I said, both of you are going to become engineers. And both of those guys become engineers later. They're both engineers now. So this is the kind of power we're talking about. But this power doesn't come from just speaking. You've got to have some authority with God as well behind it. So this is why I say that I can say that. I can say to somebody that I will take you from nowhere and I will turn you into somewhere. So hence why what I'm teaching you are basic principles. There is a lot more power behind the scenes. But then again, you are the awesome tribes of Israel. My role as a Kohen is to support you, just as Moses supported the tribes of Israel. That is where my role is. I will support you with the petitions, with the prayer, with the necessary wording to the Master of the heaven and earth where it's necessary. And that's what will change things. That's what will turn the clock. Because when you get stuck, I get moving. So hence why there is a total different scenario here at play. Here is not just you saying something, I've got to do something, I've got to do my part as well. So therefore, it's very important that you take things seriously, whether you're young, whether you're middle-aged, whether you're old. It's totally irrelevant. But what can happen is that you can be successful in any particular area of your life, but you got to first determine that what do you want to do. Once you determine what do you want to do, then we can take it from there. That's your first step. When you establish your first step, then we can carry the second step, and then the third, and then so forth. So this is why I put the book out, the perfect law, the law of attraction versus a perfect law default for humanity. That is why I put that book out. Not for myself. It's not going to give me anything. I already know all those principles. I put it out for everybody out there that wants to be at least have a shot at success. Not just have a shot at success, be successful. So I put it out for everybody. But I have my students, and some of you, the awesome tribes of Israel, know that. But the advice you get behind the scenes is out of this world. So don't even consider it. It's out of this world to push you into that like as I say, deep space. Deep space, and you're going to be extremely successful. So don't worry about it. These are little things. These are little things, and you got to just be patient. Be patient and learn to be persistent. Never give up. You know, when you are determined something, then you're going to get there provided you don't give up. So hence why I'm extremely happy. I'm extremely happy that I'm being put in the midst of the awesome tribes of Israel to be able to do something for our people. You know, that's a great service. I find this a great service to do. You know, it's a great service to work for somebody. It's a great service, yes. But it's a great service to serve the people of the children of Israel, to serve the God of Israel. That's a great service in itself. And yeah, Rabbi Kefa, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the room, and all the mothers in the world, and all the mothers on YouTube. Happy Mother's Day to you this Sunday, I believe it is tomorrow, right? Have a great Mother's Day. Love your mothers. You know, go visit your mothers. Visit them every day. Don't just visit them on Mother's Day. Visit them every day and send flowers. You know, take chocolates and give all the love you can to your mothers because they gave you birth. And so that's great. That's a great thing to have. The title of my book, Simcha, is The Law of Attraction versus the Perfect Law, Default Mode for Humanity. It's available at Amazon Books. So please go over to your mothers and give her a big hug, give her a big kiss, and give her a big box of chocolates. And tell her that you love her, and tell her thank you for giving me birth. You know, so make them proud. Make them proud. And so I will leave you with that. I'll leave you and love you, and have a great Shabbat and a great week ahead. Todah, Shabbat Shalom, Shalom Shalom.